This is the
Yeah, but if you look at the map of Palestine, let's say 30, 40 years, you can see almost the Palestinians are wiped out.
So
and the land has been taken and taken and taken and taken and taken, that now they have been in two sections of the land.
level. That's high up.
So I'll respond to that, but please let me answer that, because it's a really pivotal point. Most people think that Palestinian territory has got smaller and smaller and smaller.
And it has.
They look at a map from. Let me finish. I heard your point. And I'm trying to respond to it. They bring a map from 1946, before Israel was established in 1948, and they say, look how big Palestine was then, and look at it now. But the reality was there was never a Palestinian country. There was never a Palestinian country. What you had was mandatory. You basically had the Ottoman Empire, and you had southern Sham. You've got Abd al-Ali, who was one of the leaders of the Palestinians in 1936, and he said there's no such thing as Palestine. Palestine is a Zionist word. It's always been southern Syria, Sham. It's always been. So let me finish. I'm trying to get to your point. British then defeated the Ottomans in World War I. The Ottoman Empire collapsed. And what would happen was British would say, just let me finish.
You're going into tangent.
Let me answer.
You're going to...
Mo, you have to listen to learn.
A simple question.
You have to listen to learn. I learn your perspective, you learn my perspective. It's that simple.
I didn't go tangent.
You've got that. So in 1917.
Where were the Jews before that?
There were Jews in Israel since time immemorial.
Yeah, okay, but there was no Israel as
there
a
was
state
no
existed,
Palestine.
isn't it?
Yes, there was. Sorry,
so who were those
Jews
people?
are the only people who've actually had a state in that land. The rest of the time it's been part of different empires. Whether it was the Umayyads, whether it was the Ottomans, whether it was the Christians, it was part of different empires. The Jews were the only autonomous kingdom that's ever existed there. And so to come back to your point, when the British were awarded the mandate of Palestine, which is where you're getting the name Palestine from, they were awarded it on the condition they create a Jewish national home there, as specified in the Balfour Declaration. And the land consisted of Jordan, which is huge.
Have you heard of Psycho Peak Agreement?
Yeah, it's across. Psycho Peak Agreement, yeah.
Yeah, Psycho Peak Agreement. So if... No. You're going into... If the world knew that Jews were living there and that was their land, why Britain offered them Ghana? Why?
They didn't. First and foremost, they didn't offer Ghana.
They did.
It was Uganda. It was called.
Uganda. Sorry.
Uganda. It was actually in Kenya.
No, if the world knew that the Jews belonged to this part of the land, why would the world offer the Jews?
So let me explain.
Let me finish as well. When the Germans, the Europeans, killed 6 million Jews.
You confused me.
They did. No, wait.
It's 100. You're talking. The Uganda part was way before.
Okay. Sorry. Yeah, but if the West and other rest of the world, they knew that the Palestine belongs to the Jews, why would they offer them in Africa somewhere? Why?
So a very, very simple explanation.
Go on.
At the time the Uganda plan was offered, the Ottomans controlled Israel. They didn't control.
No, there was no Israel at that time.
But the region that we call Israel, we call Palestine, the Ottomans controlled. Yeah. So Britain couldn't give, or the world couldn't offer the Jews a part in the Ottoman kingdom because they didn't own the. They weren't part of the caliphate. What they did have was Africa. And what happened? Listen, the Ottoman caliphate. Yes, it was. Israel, Palestine, Gaza, West Bank, call it what you want, was part of the Ottoman Empire, part of the Ottoman Caliphate. If you don't accept that, that's fine, but that's history.
Okay, so you're saying to me, like, if, let's say tomorrow I found out a document, 2,000, 3,000 year old, yeah, that it claims that this building belongs to me, yeah? So I come after 2,000, the people who are living there for hundreds of years in that building, somebody else gonna offer me that building so I can go kick out that inhabitants of that building and say, you know what, a book told me this building belongs to me, now I can have it.
Palestinian, yeah? You're a Palestinian.
You give that, do you get the analogy?
No, if you propose something to me, you have to let me respond in my own way. So if you're a Palestinian, in 100 years' time, and you've been living in Lebanon, or you've been living in Syria, are you going to give up your national aspirations? Most Palestinian in 200 years. You believe that the Israelis kicked you out of your homeland. Are you going to give up your dream of going back to what you call Palestine? Most Palestinians would say no. 300 years, 500 years, no. That's exactly what happened to the Jewish people. So the Romans kicked us out to begin with.
You said the Jews were living there.
Continuous, yes. Okay, so
again, they were not kicked out.
So okay, Mo, history.
But the European Jews.
Quick history
Listen.
No.
The European Jews.
Mo, you don't know your history. I'm really sorry. The Romans kicked out the Jews.
I'm Jewish. That's a lie. He's right. We took their land. That's unfair.
Sorry, what's a lie?
It's not true. You're being super condescending.
Yeah,
it's not true.
And so just to that point, Mo, the Romans kicked out the majority.
No, but you just said the Jews were living there.
Listen. The majority of Jews were kicked out by the Romans. They moved around the world. That's how my family came to be in Poland. However, Jews remained in Israel, and they were tolerated by the Christians. At the time when the Umayyads conquered, or the Rashidans conquered Jerusalem, there were 200,000 Jews living in the land. At that time, when the Muslims conquered the land, there were 200,000 Jews already there. By the time the Ottoman Empire came about, towards the end, there were less than 50,000 Jews living in the land.
So you mean the Ottomans kicked out the Jews?
No. So some Jews converted. Some Palestinians are actually of Jewish descent. Some Jews converted to Islam.
Yeah.
Others were. So Jews weren't allowed, for instance. It's getting too complicated. Yes.
No. Say it again. Some Jews were what?
So there were different restrictions placed on different Jewish communities.
How?
Depend on different
on their religion.
Yeah, different caliphate. As an example, and it's not just in Israel.
Yeah.
In Afghanistan, one of.
No, let's talk about
I'm just trying
Israel.
You have to let me answer my own.
No, but you're
dominate the
saying
debate.
anything in the camera to make your point correct. You're saying the
That's
Ottomans.
my prerogative.
Okay,
In
you're
the
saying the
conversation,
Ottomans.
You have to let me feel the
you saying the Ottomans when they came,
I'm only going to
there were 200,000 Jews. Yeah, am I getting it right?
No. Before, in the 7th century, there were 200,000 Jews.
When the Muslims came,
and
what happened?
And gradually those numbers went down.
Were they kicked out?
For a variety of reasons.
What reasons?
So one is assimilation. They were persuaded to convert. They converted.
Who says that?
Historians.
If I bring you documents that every Caliph, every Muslim ruler came, they gave them their freedom of religion.
So let me give you an example, which I was going to do. In Afghanistan, there was a governor, Abed, I've forgotten his name, but I'll bring it next week. Or someone can Google it.
Why are we bringing Afghanistan?
Because it's relevant. The Islamic dynasties weren't just in Israel. They spread the entire world.
I get you, I'm talking about Jews.
I know, and I'm trying to answer about Jews.
If the Muslim force...
Let me answer, or we don't debate. Stop dominating the debate.
No, but you're going somewhere else.
No, it doesn't matter. You let me answer my way, or we don't debate. It's that simple.
I'm not debating.
You're
asking you
arguing
questions.
with everything I say.
I'm asking you questions.
So let me answer in my own way. Okay. So there was a governor in Afghanistan who said to the Christians and the Jews, I will relinquish, you will not have to pay the jizya. You will not have to pay zakat if you convert to Islam. Now that's not forcing someone with the sword to convert to Islam, but it's giving people a very strong, compelling reason to convert to Islam. You basically live tax-free.
So you're lying there.
Okay, now I'm going to pull up Wikipedia.
Okay, why a Jewish rabbi writes a letter in the 15th century, writes a letter to the Germans and the European Jews that come to the land of the Muslims, who you can live as you want. You can practice your religion.
Who's the rabbi?
Okay. Documents for except from
the Jews, they give up their religion for 2.5% tax.
So
you sell your religion for 2.5%.
Sorry, it's not 2.5%.
We pay more than 30% here, man.
It's not 2.5%.
We're not giving up our religion.
It's not zakat.
Yeah.
It's not zakat. So
jizya is 2.5%.
No, it depends on the caliph.
Zakat is 2.5%.
You're lying. I have it here. Can I read the condition?
It was a dinar.
What's the condition? What's the condition of paying jizya? What's the condition?
Listen,
Yeah.
I'm trying to answer each point.
Yes.
The condition of jizya.
So you would charge a dinar if you were poor. The average, not poor. If you couldn't afford to pay, you didn't have to pay.
Who has to pay?
The Jews. We're talking about Jews and Christians. People of the book.
Which Jew?
Rich one.
So rich. No. Listen, rich paid more. The average Jew paid a dinar, and this isn't just in one caliphate. Each caliphate, where Khilafah, would set the conditions for what the community would pay. There wasn't one universal 2.5%, 3%. It depended on the caliphate.
You're lying.
Hold on,
Who
hold
pays the jizya?
Hold on. No,
I
one
just
second,
said,
one second. Oh, to make sense, economical
An
sense.
arm-bearing
Okay,
person.
let's say there were like 100,000
No.
Jews.
Yeah.
They paying jizya.
Old, not
Do you-
women,
one second.
not children.
Do you think that
A guy who
100,000
is-
Jews with 2.5% money coming from them will maintain an empire as big as an Islamic empire?
Say that again, sorry, I was...
Okay, you know how big the empire was? From Tangier all the way to Indonesia. Do you think that 100 to 200,000 Jews will maintain that economy, the whole economy for that
I'm sorry.
period?
So under the Umayyad...
You're not making sense.
Listen.
Yeah, go
Under
on.
the Umayyad Khilafah,
Yes.
the majority of their subjects were Christians and Jews.
Yes.
They weren't Muslim. Most people think in those days the majority were Muslim. They weren't. They were Christian, Jews, and a variety of other religions. And some were tolerated, some weren't.
Okay, but how about Umar ibn al-As when he entered to Syria? What's the condition with the Christians? Why the Christian allowed the Muslim to enter to Syria?
So you tell me, because
You know the condition? Because it's the Christian, they were paying too much money to Rome. And when they asked Umar ibn al-As, how about your conditions? He said there is no tax in Islam.
You can live happily.
And that's why they admit. Are you going to tell me the whole Syrian accepted the Muslims to enter their country and kick out the Romans, which is their
Muslims
Christians?
had taken over that land at the time. That's why it was referred to as the Muslim land, because the Muslims had conquered that land at that time. That's why it was.
So we are not talking about it. We are talking Jews
something
living
different.
under the Muslims.
I'm saying in 15.
How-
Don't worry, you go back to your place. We'll
said
come to you.
15,
We'll come to you. Don't worry.
1500s.
We'll come to you.
1500s, because the Muslims.
I'm talking
were
about 14th century.
Well, 14th century. The Muslims had for 500
Okay.
years conquered the area
In
have
early, in the
now
14th
occupied that
century,
area.
when
it
the
could be-
Ottomans
it could be referred
established
to as Muslim
Their
land.
capital
So I
at
don't know what you're talking
Edren,
about. They had occupied that land
Jews from
at that
all
time.
over Europe migrated there. If the Muslims were
Exactly.
killing
It
Jews,
had been conquered by the Muslims. By
if
that
the
time.
Muslims were
By that time, it had been
killing
conquered by
Jews
Jesus.
and asking them so much jizya that they couldn't
710,
pay,
in the next
why
500
every
years,
Jew
they
wanted
were
to go to
conquering.
the Muslim
That's
lands?
the Muslim mentality. Conquer, aggression. That's the mentality.
Yeah,
They
okay,
conquered
okay, thank
at
you.
that time.
Thank you very much.
So they conquered that land and they went and controlled
Thank you.
that area.
Thank
How
you.
about Abraha al-Habashi? How about Abraha? He took his army and invaded the Arabia. How about that? He's an African king, by the way. They wasn't teach you about
Okay.
that.
A Jewish rabbi writes,
Who's the rabbi?
I have heard, his name is, where is he? Chief rabbi of Edren.
Where?
Isaac.
Ishaq.
Isaac Sarfati.
Jews say Ishaq.
Chief rabbi of
the
Edren.
Rif.
Yeah. I've heard of the affliction more bitter than death that have befallen our brethren in Germany, of the tyrannical laws, the compulsory baptism, and the banishment, which are of their daily occurrence. Brothers and sisters, friends and acquaintance, I, Isaac Rasfati, taught, I spring from the French stock, yet I was born in Germany. Proclaim to you that Turkey is a land wherein nothing is lacking, and where, if you will, all shall yet be well with you. The way to the Holy Land lies open to you through Turkey. Is it not better for you to live under the Muslims than under Christians? Here every man dwells at peace under his own vine and fig tree. Have you are allowed to wear the most precious garment. This document, you can find it in Turkish archives. No, you can.
No, I want to see who it is. Sarfati.
No, this is Jewish Muslim meeting, by the way.
No, this is about Egypt, the conquest of Egypt,
come back tomorrow,
at the time
come back
of
tomorrow.
Muhammad, and how they had to sell their children.
Can I just...
A proclaim by Sultan.
Mo, I can find you...
No, I'm trying to tell you that when you say that there was 200 200
Of
Jews.
Egypt.
And when the Muslim came, 200,000, and the Muslim came and they ran away and they were killed and they were forced to convert, it's wrong.
This is
It's wrong.
this is 800 years. This is a mistake that many Muslims make, and many Jews make, and many Christians make. They take one point in history and then apply that as the standard across all generations. So what you're saying is there is a 15th century rabbi, who I don't know, I've never heard of him, but I'll take your word he's a real rabbi. There's a 15th century rabbi who said it was good to live in Muslim lands. And then you then said and applied that to every single point in history.
I don't argue that there was that things happens in the lands, things happen. 6 million got dead by the Germans.
Exactly.
Hello, Germans, Western Europeans. I'm saying to you, from the beginning, it was said that Jews lived happily under the Muslim rules.
At the time of
They were
Muhammad,
never
it said
persecuted.
it is
Of
impossible
course,
to
there were here and there things happen, but in general, if you take it, a right, it was the golden age of Jews when they lived under the Muslims. They flourished. When Jewish people were killed in Europe, in England, they were getting converted by that's a different story.
Well, that's the time of Muhammad. That's the example you are taking.
Okay, thank you very much for that. So my point is, just don't paint this picture that Jews were persecuted every single time.
So, Mo,
the biggest persecution was in Europe.
Mo,
6 million Jews.
I've never said anything you're saying. You're basically...
And suddenly,
Mo, you're the master of straw man.
no. I'm telling you,
you're the master
my
of straw
problem.
man.
No, it's not. My problem
I
is
haven't
that
said
you
anything that you
cannot
said.
do when 6 million Jews were killed by
I never
Europeans.
ever said one
You
thing.
go and give some other people's
Mo,
land.
Mo,
How can you do
Mo,
that?
Listen.
You should have given them Poland. You should have given them somewhere in Europe.
Listen. You've literally argued with yourself for the last 10 minutes.
No.
Because not one thing
I'm
that I
telling
said,
you how it is.
Not one thing you've said. Did I ever say anything contrary?
brother.
I haven't said anything contrary.
You're gonna say
to that.
things that are false.
That's okay.
Okay.
Take a note.
There we go.
So there are caliphates, there are caliphs who were incredibly good to the Jewish people. For the beginning years of Islam under the Umayyad Caliphate, the Jews actually prospered and did very well, which speaks to some of what you're saying, although you're taking a different century, you're talking much later. So there was a golden period, many people say, where Jews and Muslims actually had very good relations. And under Christendom, Jews were being persecuted at the time, and many of them fled to Muslim lands and were welcomed in.
Can I make a point?
No,
One point. So you believe?
No, you can't be quiet.
I have to make this point. No,
No,
because I have to make this point. So you mean inherently, Muslim doesn't hate Jews?
no, I don't think Muslims
Thank you
hate
very
you.
much. That's my point.
Well, I've never said they do.
Ask anybody.
No, but this is what I'm saying.
They
You
will
don't-
make it up.
Mo,
Every Muslim hates Jews. We don't.
I come to the park every week.
The bad one. This is the bad one.
I come to the park every week to make friends with Muslims and to show them that actually, although I'm a Zionist and I'm a Jew, I've got no animosity towards Islam and no animosity towards Muslims. There are things that is happening in Islamic past that I'm not a fan of, just like many Muslims are not a fan of what's happened in their past. So, as an example, I know this gentleman's from Morocco, the Almohads who had a caliphate in that region. They did terrible things to the Jews. They forced them to convert to Islam or killed them. Many of them fled. Maimonides fled the Almohads and ended up in a different caliphate. He ended up in Fustan in Egypt. And so all under Suleiman. So all I'm saying is that you can't say that because one rabbi had a good experience in the 15th century, that all Jews in every Muslim land had a good experience, nor can you say because one Jew had a bad experience in, say, the Almohad dynasty, that all Jews at the time had a bad experience. So what I'm saying is it depends on which caliphate...
The whole period from Muwahidin, the whole period?
So I'm not qualified to say the whole period.
It's not, there is some instance where there is somebody like come up and they said, I don't agree,
You should talk about
I
how the Christians treated the Jews.
I'd go even further. I'd go even further and say that within Islam, right at the beginning, there are things that happened at the birth
All
of
the way to the end.
So no, I would even say for Muhammad, I'm not a Muslim,
No,
so I
all
know
the way to the end. All the way to the Ottoman Empire. Yeah.
yeah, and all the way to today. There are Muslims that do horrible things to Jews, just like there's Jews that do horrible things to Muslims.
Where?
So where? So okay, as an example.
Where? Give me an example.
Okay, I'm going to give you.
Please.
There were 850,000 Jews. Sorry.
One second.
There were 850,000 Jews living in the Arab world before the creation of Israel.
Here we go. Yes.
There were 3,000 a day, and they're all in Morocco.
Yes.
Basically, the Jews.
So the land of Muwahideen, right?
So the Jews.
Massive concentration of Jews. They've been prosecuted. Where the Muwahideen, they were there.
Yeah. But
So you're not making sense again, see?
No, I'm saying so again, listen, different periods of time, the Jews did very good in Morocco in times, and they didn't do good in Morocco in times. Even as recently as the 50s.
So the Moroccan too didn't do well.
No, exactly.
That's the way of the world is.
Listen, that's my point.
North Africa was invaded for more than 100 years. We didn't do well there.
This is the point.
When the French come,
This is the point. Mo was trying to make an argument, unless I misunderstood, that because there was a 15th century rabbi that said it was good for the Jews, that the Jews always did well under Islam. And my point was they didn't always do well. And anyone who believes that is ignorant to history.
Absolutely, and Muhammad.
And so I would go to what she's saying. As I'm not a Muslim, and I don't believe that Muhammad is perfect, I think a lot of good has come from his religion. I think every Muslim I know that does good in this world takes that goodness from the Quran and the Sunnah. And however, as I'm not a Muslim, when I look at things like the Battle of Khaybar, and when I look at taking slaves, Jewish slaves, killing young Jewish boys who hit puberty.
What happened in Khaybar?
So you're going to say the Jews betrayed Muhammad,
yes.
And there was a war. Yes. And so I'm saying, as a Jew, I don't necessarily accept that narrative.
No, listen. You have to accept that narrative because, for example, if I make a covenant with the British people and the English people in this country, and they found out I'm communicating with the enemy of this country, what would happen to me?
To that point,
yes. Today.
Can I try and answer?
Yes.
I would believe if that happened,
yes.
And then young children as young as 13, 14 years old
yes.
were beheaded,
yes.
I'd say that's barbaric.
No, it's not. Anybody who can carry weapons.
Beheading children is not barbaric.
It's not children.
13, 14 years old by my definition as a child. We have a different definition of a child. Taking the females captive and forcing them into slavery.
Okay. Again, Islam.
No, that's exactly what happened. That's what happened. Muhammad married Sophia.
Listen.
Who was her husband? Who was her father? You know who they were.
Yeah. The father was the leader of the Jews.
And so was her husband. They were Jewish leaders. He killed them. In the battle they were killed. And then the women were then took as slaves for the Sahaba or sold. And one of the Sahaba took Sophia as his wife, and Muhammad, he was going to take as a wife, and someone came to Muhammad, I forgot which channel, one of the Sahaba came to Muhammad and said, she's an important lady basically, she should go to you. And so he then married Sophia. That's the history.
Whitewashing the whole.
So
what happened?
One second. So he married her.
Yeah.
She was not a slave.
So thank you. This is the point. No. This is the point. Right? Imagine.
Why should he marry her if she's going to be his slave?
Listen, because this is the point I'm trying to make.
Yeah.
Imagine you're a woman. Yeah.
I'm not a woman. Yes.
No, but imagine we're living
Imagine
not me.
At least non-binary. Imagine you're gender fluid. And your husband and your father are beheaded. Yeah. Had their heads chopped off. Are you going to be in a hurry, like willingly, to want to marry the person who ordered their beheading? Like, forget Islam, forget religion, and that happened? No. Only someone who corrupts their mind with religion will believe that.
Billion Muslims love him. Every day people believe in Muhammad, respecting him, loving him, looking in his good behavior, in his good manners. Whatever happens in times of war, that's times of war. So don't say like, when there's war happening, everything is weird. When there's war happening, people get killed.
What's the punishment for treason?
Happen, that's war.
Punishment for treason.
Yeah,
in
those days.
In those days.
1400 years ago.
Just in World War II was the punishment of treason.
Yeah, just in World War II.
Today, I think
World War II.
I'm trying to answer your question. I think even today in the UK, the only thing which is a capital offence, I believe, is treason.
Yeah.
So, which is what you're saying.
Nothing is.
It's nothing now. Even in the UK, it's not anymore.
I'm talking about World War II.
But okay, so capital punishment.
What would happen to you if the English people found out you're communicating with Germans?
So-
World War II. His head would be chopped off.
Shot. Yes.
They had guns.
In a
And
war.
1400 years ago, they had
Okay,
guns.
so first and foremost, we're jumping around a lot.
Now number
so can
one,
I just
number one,
establish the
the
parameters?
tribes who lives in the Arabia, too many tribes live in Arabia, they lived in peace with the Prophet Muhammad. Certain tribe, they were troublemakers. Those guys, they were selling weapon to two tribes, Al-Aws and Khazraj, okay? And these guys, when they saw their money is gone, they cannot sell their weapons anymore. Like what we see today, they create a lot of problems.
Where do you get
So can I just, sorry, can I
Where is
just...
this written?
You jump all the way from the top, you have to go from the bottom, my friend, and go up.
Exactly. So let's just establish...
Under which law
because I
they
can
were
see Mo
punished?
getting
Under which
excited.
law?
Let's establish the parameters
Torah.
of the debate.
Yes, yes.
Let's establish the parameters. So I'm, just so we're very clear, my argument is, just so we're very... It's usually 1 on 20, so this is nice, 2 on 1. Just so Mo doesn't get the parameters of the debate we're discussing, just so it's very clear. I'm saying the beheading 13, 14-year-old boys is immoral.
How do you know? Did you saw the birth?
Guys,
Did you
can we
saw the
just
birth
establish...
certificate?
Can we just...
No, you have to give me a
Can we
birth
just
certificate so
establish...
you can say that.
Can we just establish the parameters of the debate? Can we just establish the parameters of the debate? So I'm saying that's immoral. I'm saying that no
That
woman...
didn't happen. It didn't happen. You're lying. What are you saying?
So you can debate with that, but let's just establish the
You're
parameters.
painting a picture.
You're establishing a lie.
I'm establishing what I'm saying, and then you can argue with it. Okay, fine. So
Don't say I'm establishing. Just say I want to say what I know, what I understand. Just say that. Don't say like I established this and this is it.
mate,
Chopping heads.
this is the sound of the debate going over your head.
No. You're talking a lot of rubbish. You want people to listen. Don't talk a lot of rubbish.
Okay,
If you need
okay.
to know the
Establishing the parameters of the debate.
to look at your sources.
One, I'm saying that it is immoral to execute.
But you're
Wait,
saying
can I,
we.
Can
One
I
second.
just establish
You're
this and then you
saying
can
we
argue?
establishing. You are
I understand.
establishing.
Make your point.
Don't say
This is
we.
what I'm arguing. Listen,
Make your
this
point.
is what I'm
I want to say
arguing.
my points.
Thank you for
Make
permission.
your
but let me-
point and let others speak.
Are you finished?
Go ahead. Make your
finished?
point. Make your point.
Thank you. Okay, so I'm saying,
You're getting excited.
I always get excited here. It's my entertainment for the week. I'm saying that it's immoral to execute, behead children. What I consider a child.
Yes,
If it happens,
I'm
that's the
saying it's
What I consider a child to
I'm
be.
saying it's immoral to take women as captives, as slaves, and either sell them or marry them. I'm saying
Well, now? Yes.
then as well. I'm saying
40. How people live. He's painting a picture.
Let me
So
just-
barbaric.
Let him establish.
No, he's just lying.
Let him establish.
Can you see
Do you understand how a debate works?
no,
we
I
have a
don't.
difference of opinion.
You're the one here
I
who
present the
understands
argument,
everything.
and then you respond. Third point. The third point is that I do not believe that any woman would happily marry the man who ordered the beheading of her father and her husband. I believe she was feared for her life,
Okay.
and that's why she married.
Okay. Did you?
There's
Did
the
you?
3 points of my argument.
One second. One second. One second. One second. One second. Can you 1 second, please? 1 second. Did you? Because they have no respect. You know. Did you read the source about that?
So I've read the hadith, yeah.
No. Do you read the source behind that? Why she married the Prophet Muhammad?
So you educate me.
Do you know the story? She went to the Prophet Muhammad and she said, I heard the conversation between my father and my uncle. You read that?
Sorry, Philip.
Can you point?
That's her uncle. He went and met Prophet Muhammad and she was listening to the conversation. And when her uncle come to her father, 1 second, they come to her father, he said, what do you think about Muhammad? He said, it's him. He is the prophet that we were waiting for. 1 second. And then he said, and then he said to him, what do you think we should do? He said, we should not believe in him whatsoever, and we should fight him. That's the conversation she heard.
And can I ask you? Do you know that the Prophet asked them, do you want to be judged under Torah or Quran?
Yes, I know this.
Which?
And they said
which book
Torah, and he said
Torah.
that.
Okay.
No, you jump around like frog.
Wait, I'm not jumping. If the Prophet asked them that which law would you accept, and they accepted the law of Torah, and if the law of Torah
Their
said,
own law.
their own law,
Make it clear.
if their own law said executed them, then why are you complaining?
Okay, let me just.
So can I now?
Let me come back to your
Okay,
point.
so all three, and then I address, and you're all quiet.
That's
Yeah,
no problem.
yeah, yeah.
We'll give you a lot of time. We'll give you a lot of time. Three things. Some things you mentioned. You mentioned
And something
about
you
the boys
don't
being
mention.
killed. Firstly, they had to be proven to be a man who were able to carry weapons.
Yes.
And in the old time, is that somebody, if a young boy gets to the age that he's able to carry a weapon and go to fight, he's a man. Okay, he's a boy. He's this. No.
Brother, we
If he
see
carries weapon
we see
and goes
today.
fighting,
We see
he's in the army. He's a
Hold
man.
on.
He's
Brother, we
he's-
see today in Africa and South America, kids are carrying weapons.
Let
They
me
can
just
kill you.
finish.
They
Yeah,
can
let me just finish. He had to, Islamically, in the Muslim, that time, he had to be proven. Every person who was proven to be a man, that was the execution. That was the killing. Yeah? But let me just, and you're talking about the woman, you're talking about the killing, all that. But why did that happen? Why did that happen? Well, did it just happen out of nowhere? Okay, why it happened, how it happened is that the Muslims, Muhammad left his own city which he was born, and he grew up for 40 years, and he came to another city, and that city gave him refuge. And those people he ran away from had a whole army, and they wanted to crush them and kill the whole city that he came to for refuge. They said they would defend themselves. And in that city, the Jewish and the Muslims and the non-Muslims, they had a treaty to defend
Help each other.
to defend each other and not to fight each other. Yeah? So that was the treaty. So the Muslims, they have a whole army who they make a trench to defend themselves, and there's an army there, and the back of the Muslims are the Jewish tribes, and they have a treaty with them, not to fight with them. Yeah? But actually to defend the city with them, and not to get any involved to actually fighting the Muslims. Imagine you having a whole army in front of you, yeah? And you have a trench and you're a small city. And the guys you had a treaty with, and you say we defend this city, they break the treaty and they side with the other army who are trying to come to you. So you have an army in front of you, and those people who had a treaty with you, yeah, they break the treaty and they come in from your back. What do you expect from that situation?
Okay, can I answer now?
Some nice sweet things?
Can I answer?
No,
Answer.
War. When there's a war, there's a war.
Okay, can I
When
answer?
people break treaties,
Can I answer?
whatever happens to them, that's
Can I answer? I was very quiet.
What happened to Germany?
Can I answer?
What happened to Germany?
Can I
Are you happy?
Are you finished?
I'm going to be finished for a minute, or just 1 minute. When the Nazis and the Hitler was destroying people and killing people, did you expect the West, the whole world to just like be nice and that? They had to be crushed.
Can I respond?
Hitler had to be, he had killed himself.
I know you like the
And
sound of your voice. Can I respond?
Let me just finish. The Nazis, they came and they said, we accept peace, we accept
So it's just
everything.
let's just stay on
Yeah?
topic.
So they gave themselves in. Until almost the 80s, Germany was in the hands of Europe and America. Yeah?
So you've jumped a few centuries, but can I
So what I'm
respond?
saying to you is that when there's a war and people are doing things, that's war. Don't talk about war, talk about internal peace.
Okay.
Talk about
Are you
times
finished?
when the people are good and you're good.
Are you
If anything bad
not
happens
listening
to
to
the
you,
people, that's what you talk about.
Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm finished.
Thank you. Okay. So everything that you've all said, I'm just going to step back a level. Yeah. So you're saying the Jews betrayed Muhammad.
Yes, they broke the
the,
treaty.
You're saying the Jews betrayed the Muslims. And let's say the Islamic narrative is correct, and they got it right, and the Jews did betray them. What happened was, the Muslims won. The Muslims defeated the Jews. Yeah?
The Jews?
Yeah, the Jews.
The army,
Muslims-
Khaybar, yeah.
The Muslims defeated.
You can't even talk about the whole Jews. There was only 2 tribes. The other tribes, they had a treaty and nothing happened to them. There were the only 2 tribes. There was only 2 tribes. This wasn't whole Jewish things. There was only 2 tribes. There was other tribes who were Jewish
Repent and pay the
and they had
rent.
a treaty and nothing happened. So go ahead.
Thank you for your permission. Whatever you say about the context, there are rules of engagement. And if you've defeated and beaten the Jews, which the Muslim army did, they beated the Jewish tribes of Khaybar, they beat it, then they were defeated. What then happened was young boys who, let's say you're right, let's say these young 13-year-old, 12-year-old, 14-year-old boys took up arms. Let's say you're right, let's say they were part of the battle. What then happened was those children were beheaded under the instruction of Muhammad. The Hadith says that Muhammad said, bring me the heads of those men and boys in batches. And the heads of those young boys were taken to Muhammad. Exactly. So as a Jew, it's not very nice.
Don't get excited. Give me the definition of a boy and a man in Jewish scripture. Making their own histories. That is your history. Boy and a man. Come on. Imagine the Nazis making their own histories. When a boy becomes a man,
You're making it worse.
please, give me. Joseph, give me the definition of a boy and a man.
Yeah, you're not making
So
When a boy becomes a man.
So we have a concept in Jewish law of when you become obligated
Yes.
to perform mitzvot.
When?
And that is when you're, that's not a man, that's when you're obligated to follow the commandments, and that's at the age of 13.
And that's an adult.
No, that's when you're obligated to...
Bro, I know and you know that in those times there was not such a thing, adolescent, teenager, adult and a man. There was two, a boy and a man.
In Judaism...
A boy becomes a man when he hits puberty.
Do you want to teach me about Judaism, or do you want to ask me about Judaism?
See your scripture.
Okay, thank you. I'll ask my rabbi. So in Judaism, we have a concept of bar mitzvah. That's completely separate to what we're discussing here. What we're saying here is, by everyone's definition here, a 13-year-old boy that started puberty...
Now, yes.
That is your history.
2018, yes. 1400 years ago, there was not such a concept of teenagers or adolescent or anything.
Does Islam span all time? Is it an instruction that was as applicable in the 7th century as it is applicable today? Or has Islam changed?
No. It's not about Islam. I'm telling you, 1400 years ago, the concept of, okay, what is a boy?
Is Islam a perfect instruction that spans all generations?
Alhamdulillah.
Yes.
No, if
yes,
you
thank you.
Oh, no. Are you asking me?
Islam is perfect.
I'm telling you.
Muslims aren't there.
Yeah, of course they're not.
I know.
Muslims are not perfect. I never said Muslims are perfect.
I
never said that.
So I know you didn't know, I was just making a joke. I'm sorry. I'll try not to make jokes around you guys. It gets very serious very quickly.
I'm not upset. I'm saying 1400 years ago, even in Islamic law, there is not such a thing, teenager, adolescent.
So to that point, that's what I'm trying to say. So this is the point I'm trying to make. If those same conditions arose as existed in the time of Muhammad, and let's say they took place in Israel, Palestine.
It is not only in Islam.
Can I just make a point? Can I just try to make this point?
What he said, it is not only in the Islamic world, it's everywhere.
Oh, no. My point is relevant to Islam because we're talking about Islam, but I agree, around the world. My point is, if you are a Muslim and you believe that Muhammad's instruction is a perfect instruction for mankind, and the same conditions arose, and the Jews betrayed Muhammad today, I'm putting the question to you, would the Caliph would it be acceptable for him? Would it be acceptable for him to say that 13-year-old, 14-year-old, 12-year-old boys should be executed?
We have to wait for Khalif, right?
Yeah, you wait for your Khalif.
Yes. When we have a Khalif,
talking about 1400 years ago. Not now.
This is the
Yeah,
point.
this is the point. I'm asking you, when a boy becomes a man in Jewish law?
So, we're literally going round in circles now,
You're
Mo.
making that.
No,
It's clear.
it's not 13. You just make this. You make
See,
that.
you're diverting the conversation and bring it back to Islam, that how Islam is horrible and barbaric.
I'm not saying that.
I'm asking
I'm
you a
not saying
simple
Islam's
question.
barbaric. I'm
I'm
saying
asking you a
Islam
simple
is being
question. In
something like-
Jewish law,
Mo,
when you say Muhammad
Mo,
Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam
I've
took
got to
young
stop you.
boys
Your point-
and chopped their heads
I've
off,
got to stop you.
I'm telling you that in Jewish law,
got to stop you.
1400 years ago, when a boy becomes a man, please tell us.
I've got to stop you because you're putting words in my mouth that I never
No,
said.
please tell us.
I'm saying that Islam has been one of the greatest forces for humanity. Some of the greatest innovations came out of the Islamic Caliphate.
Here we are
They're
talking about Jews.
But you're saying what I'm
Jewish
saying.
law.
Anyone watching this is going to believe what comes out of your mouth.
Jewish
is what
law.
I'm saying. And it's
I'm
not
asking
true.
you. I'm asking you. When a boy in a Jewish law becomes a man.
So, and I answered your question.
When?
We didn't like the
Answer,
answer.
answer
We
it
don't
now.
have
That-
the concept.
yes,
that
you have.
Man, teenager. As you said, it's a modern construct.
Can we check it
in
out?
Judaism, at 13 years old, you become obligated to keep the
Oh,
commandment.
you cannot say they become a man.
It's called a bar mitzvah, a son of the
Let's
mitzvah,
see.
a boy who is obligated
Let's
to
see,
follow
let's
the
see.
law.
That's what Uncle Google said.
In Jewish law, it says 13 exactly 1-3.
So in Jewish law, it says 13 exactly, yeah.
13,
1-3,
at
not puberty,
13.
at 13 years old.
But
it's
how
an
about,
age.
how about if the boy is not, if 13, but he cannot,
So it's because it's not
he
to do
cannot
with,
produce a baby?
because it's not to do with whether he can produce a baby or not. That's
It
what I'm
does.
trying to tell you.
It does.
Not in Judaism. We're talking about
Why not?
Islam.
Why not?
This is what I'm trying to say. Unfortunately,
I would love you show me in the Torah that is 13 years old.
no, it's from the Talmud. It's from the Talmud.
Ah, Talmud. Which one? Which
I
one?
believe it's from the.
Which one?
It all comes from the Bavli. The Babylonian Talmud is where law comes from.
Oh,
Because
so
it
it's
codifies.
two Talmuds, by the way.
Yeah, Yerushalmi and Bavli. That's right. Yeah, you asked
So
me
which
which one. I
one?
said Bavli.
Which one?
So I'm
Babylon.
saying,
Okay, can I read?
Jewish
Can
law
I read the
comes
Jewish
from
law?
Bavli, unless it's not specified in the Bavli.
Uncle Google
Unless
says
you go to
something else.
Yerushalmi.
How about the
Uncle
Halakha?
Google says something else.
Halakha is basically the law. So,
So you read, So one second. So you go to Talmud, which is written by rabbis, not by
Yes,
God.
yeah.
And you leave a halakha, which is the hadith of the Moses, right?
No.
It's not.
No.
saying-
So this is halakha is the word that describes the law
saying
as it's
when-
documented
when a
in the
Jewish
Torah,
boy
as
becomes
it's
a man,
legislated by
13
the
years old.
Sanhedrin, the Bet Din Hagadol.
Okay.
So we're getting really technical, but
So
basically,
is the halakha say 13 years old?
halakha for when a boy becomes obligated to keep the mitzvot, it's called a bar mitzvah, and it's at 13 years of age, irrespective of whether he started puberty, hasn't
let's
started
come back to
puberty.
that point.
The same way, that in British
By
law today.
mitzvah it means 13 years old.
Things are clear. Let's
One second. By mitzvah means 13 years old.
By bar mitzvah means.
So
Means 13 years old?
It is 30, it means a boy of the mitzvah.
Let's
son of the
read. Let's read. According to Jewish law, when a Jewish boy becomes 13 years old,
He's
they
obligated to
become accountable
For the mitzvah.
No,
That's what I'm saying.
for their actions.
That's
For
this
their
is
actions.
literally what I'm saying.
I know. When 1400 years ago,
Okay. Let's one second. No, let's.
What
let's-
action?
One second. No,
The
let's.
mitzvah. That's what
and the war, and the war. Yes.
Listen.
Okay,
In the Torah now. When it says, one second, brother.
Open it here.
coming back to that point.
In the Torah now, when it says if you go to war, now your enemy is 13 years old, what would happen to him?
So it doesn't say anything about that.
I'm reversing it right now. He's an adult right now.
It doesn't say anything. No, you just.
Do you know the Battle of Jericho?
No. He says. Do
you know the Battle of Jericho?
Accountable.
Yeah.
So
What happened?
if you
So I will absolutely. I will be the first person.
12,000 people, you need to give him an exit, brother. You give him an exit.
What you just said.
He needs to answer that one. If
can
you
we get
reverse
back
it,
to what we started on?
reverse it.
Like, I will
How
say.
about if Jewish army
forget
caught a 13 years old enemy?
Forget religion.
Yeah.
I will categorically say whether I'm Jew,
Don't
Christian,
forget
Muslim,
religion. Don't
Buddhist,
forget religion.
Hindu, whatever my faith, atheist, I will say killing 13, 14-year-old, 15-year-old boys that are in armed
That's the wrong
conflict as
point
well.
you're making.
We have child soldiers today in Africa.
So
Yeah,
it goes
let
against
me make a
the
point.
It goes against
Let me
the
make a point.
It goes against Torah.
Let me make a point.
Okay.
We have child soldiers in Africa.
Are you rejecting Torah?
If those armies, like
Say it on the camera.
the Lord's Resistance Army is defeated in Africa, those children that were forced to fight in that conflict should not be executed. There is not a person here.
Hold on.
There is not
Okay.
a person. Let me just finish. There is not a person here today, I hope, that would say that those children that fought in the Lord's Resistance Army should be beheaded.
Okay.
Nobody here will say
One
that.
second. Now,
I hope.
now in 2018, okay, your army are killing children based on that book.
No, they're not.
They're killing 13,
Take it.
11 years old boys and girls based on that book.
This is
Do you reject Torah?
Look, for the camera,
Do you reject Torah?
for the camera, look what happens here. You present an argument.
Yes.
One says that's what they're doing in Israel. The other says that's what you believe. That's what
You
it
said
says
you
in the
believe in
Torah.
Zionism.
And,
You said you're a Zionist.
Just a minute. One says that's what's happening in Israel. The other says you reject
we are
the Torah.
lying and
None
you
of
are
them-
speaking
none
the
of them-
truth.
None of them actually dealt with the fact that I said It is immoral to behead children in the Lord's Resistance Army.
Okay.
And
What's
either you
behead?
agree
What's
with that
behead?
or you disagree with that.
You throwing phosphoric bombs on children, man.
This guy is saying it. So there's a gentleman off the camera.
Hello. Your argument is false, man.
He says it's moral.
You reject Torah.
That is to you. That is to you.
Do you reject Torah? Do you reject Torah?
For protesting.
I don't reject the Torah.
What happened?
Killing them by snipers.
Again, no, you're running away from the argument.
No. Okay. What happened to Torah? Do you reject Torah?
No.
Not at all. What happened in Exodus? What happened in Exodus? Yes.
In Exodus, we left Egypt.
No. The killing. Talk about that. The killing. No. Come back tomorrow. This is a Muslim Jewish meeting. No. This is the people who wrote your program for you. You stay away. Come back tomorrow. And bring your coffee with you.
You are a
He's getting excited now when we reverse things to him. No. He's so worried about 1400 years ago. Today, we have the Israeli army killing children and women, and animal, donkeys, dogs, everything, with the bomb beheading.
And you are the good man.
Talk to us. Forget the
In
camera.
the last 20 years,
Yes.
not less than 0.5% of the Muslims who were killed in the Middle East were killed by Israelis.
Oh, mashallah, you're so merciful.
Muslims,
You only killed 1.2 what, million, you said? Oh, you're so merciful.
6,000 Muslims.
And you're crying about 14 people killed 1400 years ago. Yes, how many?
This is about hating Jews.
Okay. Remember when the Catholic in Spain, they were killing you, you run to the Muslim countries. You run to us. Every time you have trouble, you run to us. Every time.
We ran away from you in the 40s.
When?
There were 850,000 Jews living in the Arab world. Today there's only 3,000 left.
Hello. Germans killed 6 million.
It's not a competition. Who kills Jews?
That's what you're saying.
Don't go there. Don't go there.
He's saying we didn't kill as many as the Jews.
No, he didn't. No, he
As many as the Jews. One of the most barbaric regimes that ever existed. So well done.
Why you didn't have a
That's like maybe saying I didn't kill as many
Why you
people as
didn't have
Hitler.
a city?
It's like, what a stupid argument.
Why you didn't have a city in one of the city of Germany?
Sorry, what?
When Germans killed 6 million Jews, then the Germans should provide it. Why not? Why not? So it means
One second. I forgot something, man. No, man. We missed this one. Excuse me, sir. How about Israeli soldiers using children as a shield to go into the town?
And there we go. There we have it.
There we go. Is it running? Oh, yes.
They deflect.
okay.
What do you mean they deflect?
We were talking about when I was
Talking
saying.
about 1400 years ago.
First and
We're
foremost,
talking about 2018.
First and foremost, I don't accept
Using
what you're
children as
saying.
a shield.
You want to talk about children as shields? Look at Hamas.
Oh, Hamas.
No. Let's deal with facts. Yep. How many children have been killed on the border fence trying to break into Israel? Recently.
Yes.
And in the Gaza. What are children doing in a military conflict?
Okay. What are children
doing on the
Okay, hold on a second.
What are children doing there?
So, what are children doing? What are children doing? Carrying weapon in the Battle of Khaybar. You say? You don't like that. You don't like that.
You say they're carrying weapons. We don't have any record.
No,
of
we
this.
have record of it.
You-
They
you're
were
a
fighters.
Muslim
They were
saying-
fighters.
So we are lying.
They were fighters.
We are lying, you're not.
So what you're saying as Hamas, we kill children of Hamas, okay?
So, no. Not at all.
That's what you're saying.
Not at all.
That's what you're saying.
What I'm saying
Yes.
is, if you want to talk human shields,
Yes.
that is what Hamas are doing.
No Muslim used that
Why are
before.
children?
You're using
Why are
it.
children involved, bro? See, literally today,
Here we go.
why are children there?
Why are they on the borders? Because the border is constantly expanding.
Israel pulled out of Gaza in
Remove them
2005.
prisoners
sir.
and the protesters telling you to get
Listen, Israel pulled out of Gaza in 2005. How is that a border expanding? That's a border decreasing.
You really think so?
You think
So you think that are there any
Calling of mine.
all
Israelis
of the land and the small land that they have.
Are there any Israelis in Gaza?
Tell me what.
No.
Tell me what
Thank
government is
you.
there in Gaza.
So how is it Israel's border borders expanding into Gaza.
Tell me what government is that?
Gaza, that's all is left of Palestine.
Just
That's all is left of Palestinian
What are you
land.
saying?
That's in the West Bank. You don't know what you're talking about.
Even in Gaza.
just give me an example.
So I've been to the Gaza border. They won't let Israelis in. It's illegal. I've been to the border. I've been all over the West Bank. Ramallah, Rawabi, everywhere. I've got many Palestinian friends there. What you're describing is the West
you're a
Bank.
good man.
You're confusing
I'm not a racist because I have a black friend.
Yeah, my dog is black. No, my dog is black. My dog is black. I love
At
black
least I have
people.
Palestinian
My dog
friends.
is
You don't
black.
have any Jewish friends. You just come here and attack them.
No, that's don't lie. Don't lie
Like
about
what?
people.
One
Like
second.
now.
Who
What do you
attacked
mean by
Who
attack?
you talking about?
What do you
You
mean by
talking
attack?
negative about Islam and Muhammad.
What do you mean by
You
attack?
can't say you don't talk about negative. Don't start.
If you talk back,
Okay, thank you very much, sir. Go back to India.
Don't accept him to talk negative.
Hello.
They tell us we are the talking.
They gave you the British passport. We accepted Christianity. Now it's okay.
I believe that Islam is responsible for a lot of things in the world. I believe that Muslims do good in the world based on the teachings of the Muhammad, the Sunnah and the Quran. Everyone watching the beginning of their life. I don't have to accept that Muhammad is there's things that Muhammad did that I don't agree with. And that's all we're saying.
You didn't accept Jesus.
Mazel tov. Mazel tov, sir. Well done.
अपने लोगों को भेज दूं.
You didn't accept Jesus.
So, hello, Mr. Okay, is it okay for a Palestinian? Is it okay for Palestinians to go from
Indian embassy is this way.
Then let me ask him a question. Look the answer. Is it okay a guy whose parents
I know.
Can I ask him a question?
Yeah, go ahead.
Is it okay for a boy who born in this country, but her mother and father is Palestinian, to go fight in Palestine against Israel?
Is it okay?
Is it okay?
So, I don't believe that anybody should want to go to fight, be they Jewish, or be they Muslim, be they Palestinian. I don't think it's admirable. What I would say is, because I know where you're going to say there's Jews in the UK that fight in the IDF.
Of course, Jews born here, they go to Israel, they admit themselves in the army, and they fight for Israel. They have nothing to do with Israel. They've never been there. Their mother and
And they came back. They come back as British citizens.
and they come back as
Nobody called them terrorists.
if a Palestinian born here goes to Palestine, fight against Israel, he cannot come back because he will be called a terrorist.
So can I respond to that?
Please.
So it depends what you constitute as fighting. So if you're saying that in a time of war, when Israel and Palestine are at war, and that happened, the circumstances...
No, any time.
So the only people that we know of that have come from here to there have carried out civilian terror attacks on civilians. I would say if you're a Jew from this country and you join the IDF and you then kill civilians in cold blood, then you deserve to go to jail. You should have your citizenship of the UK renounced and you should be put in jail.
They have done, and they came back.
If you go and you do national service and you're defending the Jewish people, civilians from terror attacks, I think that's legitimate. Just in the same way that if the Palestinian was defending Palestinians from people murdering civilians, I think that would be legitimate.
That's what's been happening for 60 years.
Targeting of
That has been happening for 60 years.
Targeting of civilians is what is immoral. Hamas target children. Hamas target civilians. I believe the IDF, and you disagree, but I believe the IDF goes to great lengths to protect the lives of civilians. The IDF, if they wanted to, could literally bomb the living daylights out of Gaza and the West Bank. They could kill every last Palestinian. But they don't.
They will.
And the BBC, you know what they said in the BBC? You know one of the BBC reporter what she showed? She recorded Israelites, people, the civilians, taking sofas into the mountain, watching the Palestinians being bombarded.
And I saw that, and that was disgusting.
Look at this.
See the difference? Listen.
And then you talk about terrorists.
You want to talk the Torah? The Torah says you never rejoice in your enemy's downfall. There is a way.
The Torah says you are banned from this land until
No,
the
it doesn't. Show me where it says that. Show me any line in the Torah. I will give you £50 on the spot if you show me.
You are banned.
£50?
You are banned
From you?
You are banned.
Is that because I'm Jewish, man?
No, I never said that. You said it.
So what?
You admitted it. It's okay.
There were some racist Israelis Some whether they're racist or not, but who had very strong emotions, which I strongly disagree with, who took sofas and sat on a hill overlooking the battle in Gaza. I think that's not Jewish, I think that's completely immoral. So I have
For 60 years.
I have no problem.
For 60 years.
I have no problem condemning
Civilians and army all the same.
immoral.
Civilians being killed, Palestinians being killed, those who are killing and those who are watching.
I think Israel went to great lengths to protect civilian casualties in that conflict.
That's why they bombed.
It's not moral. If you're fighting a militant force that is firing tens of thousands of rockets into your territory,
You know those bombs are banned. Come on. You know those bombs are banned.
tens of
Joseph.
thousands. Bombs are not banned in
Don't put
conflict.
your umbrella on him because they're gonna call you terrorist.
Cholesterol.
Biological.
Yes.
Is there any nuclear weapons as well? Is there anything that Israel isn't throwing at the
It is a regular army
the Palestinian
fighting against civilians.
You know they cannot.
Apparently, we're trying to commit a genocide, but we're so bad at the population.
Number one, you cannot use nuclear weapons because you'll be dead too.
Please tell Ahmed
Only
in the
25
chat.
kilometers,
Please tell
man.
Ahmed in the chat that.
No, Ahmed,
Only 25 kilometers. If you hit Gaza with nuclear, it's gonna hit you.
If we happen to nuke
the whole world, nobody wants to be suicidal, okay? Nobody in the world wants to use nuclear weapons because once you use it, they know the other person will use it.
why is Ahmadinejad
No,
pursuing
nobody wants
nuclear
to.
weapons?
No, it's for defense. Everybody's saying, I have it, you have it, don't try it. You try it, you know you will die also.
They believe
So,
in
no, you don't want to die. I know you don't want to be suicidal.
There's going to be a battle between the Jews and the Muslims at the end of days.
Say that again?
I assume
Whatever anybody believes, they believe. That doesn't
if
matter.
they have nuclear weapons, that's quite
Believe
dangerous.
is believe. But anyway, the Iranian people, they don't have a nuclear weapon anyway.
That one will believe when Jesus comes.
A question for you: do you believe it's all Jews or just a section of Jews?
We are Muslim. We are Muslim. No. We are Muslim. In the Quran.
I like how
You
you
read the
no,
Quran.
you don't believe
No,
that. You believe all
one
Jews.
second. You read the Quran. The Quran doesn't generalize anybody. The Quran never generalizes anybody. The Quran says
What up, bro? Talking about anarchy here. What is anarchy? Yeah. I'm saying that anarchy doesn't exist because it's in human nature to. So what are we gonna talk about? No, we're being fit now. Makes history great again.
What is history? Here's the story. History is what the Marxists hate, and we're against the Marxists. That's what we do.
Yeah, because that wasn't real Marxism. You know, communism failed, Marxism failed. It wasn't real communism.
Like since national identity's gone out the window, Marxism's taken over and like flooded different identities.
Well,
That's what happens when you get
do you think that society needs religion?
Liars. No. You know, in theory it doesn't. Because we have states, we have, you know, a form of organizing ourselves. But in practice, I find myself conflicted because religion makes a lot of things smoother, easier. You know? It makes the authority of the government much more respected by the people because they use religion as a tool. That's what religion is for me, a tool. And that's the only reason why I don't talk completely against religion. Like I won't call myself an atheist because I actually understand the reason of religion and its use in society, because I understand that it makes the functioning of power smoother. For example, if you tell a guy that he can't steal and you put some policemen around so he doesn't steal, you know, he won't steal in front of the policeman, but when he's not being watched, he'll fucking steal everything he can, right? If he feels that he won't be punished. But if he thinks that there's a supreme entity that will punish him up in the afterlife or, you know, karma or whatever, he won't steal because he believes that he will be punished no matter what.
Well, that's exactly what society was like before we had policemen. It was all really based on...
There was no society before policemen. There was always you know,
officially policemen came quite recently, like 100 or
yeah, the official term.
you know, before that it was mostly informants and stuff like that, but for the most part it was guards. Yeah, the most part law was enforced by psychological fear, whether it's in Islam or Christianity, stealing something, even if you get away with it, you will fundamentally think that, oh shit, I might go to hell for this, so just die instead. So it's a psychological sort of like...
a control mechanism.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is Christianity is on the decline here, and I think as atheism is fine, but a lot of cases.
You say atheism is on the rise?
Yes, but at the end of the day, I feel like we're just becoming more into material things. So, and that's exactly what the Marxists want. They want us to. Sorry. I'm just saying that. Do you think we need to have something that is of a similar equivalent of religion that governs our lives, gives us meaning, rather than just becoming more into materialistic things that the Marxists want in this country, or to be more ready to the state like the communists?
But you know, the communists, for example, Lenin and Mao Zedong, they had a cult of personality, which you might call a certain kind of religion. Like the pharaohs, you know, the Egyptians, the pharaohs were gods on earth. That's the same with Stalin and Mao Zedong. I mean, obviously it's not the same, but the idea is the same, because they are gods on earth and they need to be worshipped by the people. Sorry?
Communism, capitalism are religions.
Communism and capitalism.
How's capitalism?
No, that's political ideology. That's nothing to do with religion.
Capitalism?
You can have a communist country. I mean, obviously it won't work because communism doesn't work. But you can have a socialist country, not communist, because communism is the disintegration of the state. Sorry?
100 million people like because of
I don't respect communism. That's the political ideology I hate the most, honestly.
Would you say Castro's version of communism worked in Cuba?
No communism ever worked.
I mean, do you think Justin Trudeau is actually Castro's bastard son?
I don't think so. I think Trudeau is
dude. I'll show you some pictures.
I've seen that picture. Mr. Substitute drama teacher.
No, Trudeau and Castro.
That's actually true. Trudeau was a substitute drama teacher in the past. I mean, I have nothing against drama teachers. Reagan himself was an actor before he became president, and he was one of the, he's considered one of the best presidents. Sorry?
Make American great again.
No, Reagan.
Reagan.
No, it wasn't. Make America Great Again was the slogan of Reagan.
Yes.
I never heard of that.
Yeah, you
never heard of that.
You tell me that.
Anyway, it wasn't as
Google is your
popular.
friend.
You tell me that doesn't look like it's.
Okay, fine. And I look like Hemsworth with long hair. You know, if I grow my hair and grow a beard, I will look a little bit like.
Yeah, but if you actually look at his actual father, he looks nothing like him.
Fine. I don't think so. I don't think he's related to Trudeau, Fidel Castro.
I know that Castro did make a lot of visits to his son. I'm sure Castro's official father was a cut that allowed his wife to be by Castro because he loved communism.
Look, I'll be honest. I never went very deep into Castro's history. I know a bit more about Mao and about Stalin. About Castro, I don't know that much. What I do know is that it still didn't work because Cuba is still a shitful of this right now.
Let's digress to what we were originally talking about. Okay. Christianity is on the decline, but what is replacing it isn't necessarily a good alternative. Which is like materialistic things, being ready to stay, because of welfare. It's the same, in this country, the elites are trying to get us more away from family units, from religion,
they're trying to make people here lose all sense of identity and belonging.
Exactly.
They want to do that because people like that are easier to control.
Exactly.
So, in the Persian Empire, it's not the first time that this has been done. In the Persian Empire, when people were rebelling against the Persian Empire, they were simply, transported to another part of the empire. So part of that people were transported to another part. Second
is the Ali Dawah.
Ali Dawah, damn. Who the fuck is Ali Dawah? I don't know the speakers on their personality. Sorry, guys.
I'm saying, so like you said, what's going to replace Christianity is not desirable. So what can replace it that is desirable?
Okay, so I agree with you about materialism and atheism and all that stuff being kind of a replacement for Christianity, but I also disagree because when there's such how should I say, when there's such uncertainty, such religious, cultural, and ideological uncertainty, such relativism in the people, they will choose a system that gives them some kind of certainty. Because people are inherently weak. They need something where to belong. They need something somewhere to belong, and they need something to be shackled by. It might sound bad, but it's actually how people work. They need something to fight for, some kind of purpose.
So I was thinking, what if we return to an almost pagan tradition?
I think that would work.
When I say pagan, I don't mean literally believing in the gods or sacrificing people.
I know, not exactly the same.
It's more the fact that because our ancestors believed in those things, it gave us purpose and a sense of identity, family, and history of the people, meditating, I think that's a practice. This thing that is a sensible option that has all the good properties of Christianity in terms of society structure, discipline, balance, and everything.
I don't think that's an option.
Well, a lot of people are turning to pagans because they don't feel like Christianity.
Not a lot of them. Not a lot of them,
but
some people are turning to paganism.
But when you prefer that, then what the Marxists have planned is replace Christianity.
I don't think that's what they have planned. I think what they have planned is internal chaos. When there's internal chaos, let's look at Ukraine or Syria. Whoever shows up in Ukraine or in Syria and reestablishes any kind, the most basic kind of order, they will be basically paid like dogs. Because right now, the situation is tough, especially in Syria. It's completely fucked. They had Assad, who was maintaining. It's Assad, right? Yeah, exactly. Bashar al-Assad in Syria, who was maintaining some order. And he wasn't perfect, but nobody spoke about any atrocities when he was in power before the Americans invested there and being
all his life he was planning to be nice.
Yeah, exactly. I spoke with many Syrians here. They said the country was fine. There were actually lots of Christians there who were living in relative harmony. Yeah, and Jews, yes. But now it's completely fucked. There is nothing in Syria. It's just war. And whoever shows up bringing order will be, they will be obeyed. And I think that's kind of what they're trying to do in some countries in Europe. They're trying to make the situation worse, so then they can come like the savior, and then they can bring some order. And the people will be like, okay, fine. I don't care if you caused all this bullshit. If you give us back order, that's fine. Just bring it, man. I'll obey you.
Exactly. So we need to find a structure that maintains the family unit, maintaining a most homogeneous society for each country, because you know that when it needs to bring people from different parts of the world into one country that has homogeneous and organized, because it gets into like ghettos. They're fighting off each other rather than attacking the other. Why I say that paganism is an option in symbology, because, for example, taking Britain, Celts, Saxons, they had a good structure of paganism like before Christianity. Christianity yet took over, but paganism kind of like morphed it into symbolism, the celebration of Christmas and Easter and things, and they pretty much culturally
paganism is better than one of things like Christianity, Islam, or Judaism. What does it do better? What about the pros of paganism?
It's the same thing where have a strong sense of community and identity.
Same with the monotheists. In fact, they have it stronger with monotheists, because with paganism, there are sometimes cities or city-states like Greece, for example, dedicate themselves to one god. And sometimes there are animosities between the cities because they have different gods. I would say the actual sense of community and of unity is actually greater in monotheism.
This is what I mean. It's not actual paganism in the sense that we're not literally believing gods as literal entities. They are symbologies of nature, because our ancestors believed in them, then it's just like a tradition, just like Christmas.
What's the difference? I don't see the difference. If you believe in nature, in spirits of nature or something like that, it's entities. It's entities of the same.
Yeah, but it's not literal things like a God in the sky.
And then Christians and Muslims, for example, don't believe in a God in the sky. They believe that God is everywhere. Basically, it's a very abstract idea. They don't believe in that God has two specific shapes. Christians do in Jesus Christ, but he's the Son of God.
Yes, but they're saying God has opinions. God gives you instructions. He speaks to his prophets.
Okay, so
what we're saying is
you're paganism. Nature has no objective,
no, it is simply down to the fact that there is probably a design out there, but he's something we cannot fathom. He doesn't communicate to us. It's just like he thinks we're tiny speck of dust in the vast universe. So, yeah, no, we don't call them God. The gods are something separate. They're symbologies for things that our ancestors believed in. Obviously, in this day and age of science and evolution, we know that. It doesn't mean we just like, say, oh, it's rubbish people. It's like, no, it's just like a tradition. It's like, it's like Shinto in Japan. The fact is that our ancestors practiced these things because they gave them structure, gave them purpose, and a sense of unity, culture situated, these things. Like the term religion didn't come to fruition after, Abrahamic religion. The Celts and the Saxons, the Germanic people, didn't see religion integrated in culture. It was just them being Celts or Saxons. So, and that's something that we need to do. Is that we need to have a British version of Shinto that is something that gives the unity a sense of tribal sense of religion. Kind of like read the sheep against what the elites want, but also something that gives us all the good elements of Christianity.
It doesn't sound like a bad idea, but I don't think it simply has enough strength to oppose other religions. Like you said, Christianity is on the decline.
Because they want to make a decline. Because we know, even on the scientific basis, that there's no God. And also, we think it's, when you actually read the Bible, you think, oh, there's a lot of contradictions. You see a lot of evil stuff from God.
Yeah, in all religions, there's lots of contradictions.
Yes, exactly. But, the gods, at least in the pagan sense, they're not pretending to be moral good. They're difficult, they're tricky, and it's just like forces of nature. See what I'm saying?
It's too abstract. I understand what you're saying, but I think it's a complicated meaning, and it's very, very, very abstract. The good thing about Christianity is that they have a specific set of rules. You listen to those rules and you follow them, right? I don't agree with all of those rules, but they are very simple, very concise rules. You read them, you live 10 commandments, for example, perfectly simple. You read them and you follow them. That's it. In the sense of religion that you're saying, there are no such rules. It's very, very, very much open to interpretation.
What is morality?
Morality is incredibly valid. Morality as
it's actually very simple. It actually is very simple.
It's very morality by itself doesn't exist. It exists if humans exist. If humans don't exist,
animals can be moral. Animals, they can show they can show compassion. No, maybe we're getting confused at the term morality.
Morality comes from intellect.
No. All right. Morality, as I see it, is we are sentient beings who understand pain and we want to avoid it. And the best way we find to avoid it is by working together and establishing rules. So it doesn't need to be like, oh, it's a really complex subject that only comes from a divine being.
The thing is, it's complex because there is one morality. There is one way to act well for everybody.
But do you think
different civilizations, different peoples who live in different lands and have different needs, but they have different moralities.
But there's a foundation of the same thing. Is we want to live in societies that keep us safe.
But it's very abstract. That kind of what you said now basically encompasses all moralities, and all moralities are very, 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 very different. Like some people will believe that cutting a thief's head is wrong because no
nobody else would steal. And, you know, fair enough, it will disencourage people from stealing. But that's the flaw in that kind of morality, because you can put the worst punishment ever for the smallest crime, but if people are not certain that they will get punished, they will keep committing the crime. The main focus should be...
That was at a time where you didn't have police force to enforce it.
That's not a time, that's right now. There are places right now.
Yeah, I know that, but these things were relevant and worked in those times because there's no police force that can like analyse everyone's behaviour. You know, you had to be like a symbolic thing. Like if you get caught doing this, you will get your hands on.
You think that there was no police force? There were militias, there were
militias,
but it's like
nowhere as advanced as nowadays.
Okay, obviously they didn't have cameras, but they had, you know, informants. There were less people, so they were relatively easy to monitor. I mean, obviously it was harder than today, because today we have cameras. Yes, we have cameras everywhere. But in those days, there were many soldiers. There were armies inside the cities. There were police. There were soldiers patrolling the streets. It wasn't the lack of police force. It was actually a very brutal police force. And if they caught you doing something who they considered as wrong or doing something suspicious, they would sometimes execute you on the spot. That's how it worked back then.
Yeah, you know, and all these public executions.
It was very effective.
Yeah, exactly. It's a psychological thing. So that saved up the manpower from having to watch other people.
Okay, yeah.
You know, but as I'm saying, we live in a society where we know a lot of proper troops. Things that are...
no, absolutely.
But in contrast to back in the past, I think we can like make a society that is a lot more well structured. You know, so that's why
fair.
Yeah, and that's why I say like when I say paganism, it's just like a symbology to have a connection to your ancestors, whilst at the same time embracing these new scientific discoveries of how we can engineer society that will
our closest ancestors were Christians. Closest ancestors. And pagans didn't actually build they did the Roman Empire, if you say so. But the Romans were also Christians, eventually. And, you know, Christianity is a very central part of the sense of humanity and the sense of law and roots that we have in the West. It's a very, very important part of that. And if we become pagans now, we're basically discarding most of what our ancestors did.
But Christianity adopted a pagan structure.
They adopt the pagan structure. Really? Pagans always have churches.
Yeah, no, there's certain types of pagan. You know, there's people who believe all like nature, love, and others obviously appropriate for themselves. You know.
Okay, but the religion, this is way before any paganisms that we know about.
True.
So, I mean, they had churches, they had them, all that stuff. So, did we actually get inspired on the Hebrews?
It's hard to like trace back, but I'm just saying that people that continue being Christian, that's fine. Right? We're not going to force them to become pagan. From the sort of evidence, we know that the idea of one God came from the pantheon when it got to
Yeah, it's debatable, because the first religious text we have is Enuma Elish, which comes from the... yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and they believed in the pantheon of
from
gods.
the Mesopotamians.
Yeah, they believed in the pantheon of gods.
They did. But,
the Canaanites believed in many gods, and obviously we know that Israel was, you know, the leading god of the Canaanites was called El, or El Shaddai. That's exactly what Abraham called his gods. And, like that Abraham, Isaac, they didn't believe in one God.
I mean, we can't really come to a conclusion with that, because it's very, very distant history, and it's the beginning of history, which means it's the beginning.
I think we're finding in history the years ago now.
Oh yeah.
we're finding new
talking about that happened when history began, official history. When people started writing down their ideas and their accomplishments and their legends.
Again, before it was just the word of mouth.
Yeah, exactly. It was many times shamanic religions. There would be one person who would have visions and stuff and would be connected to spirits and to gods or to whatever people chose. And that was before the actual invention of civilization and religion. And the thing is, religion as itself, the stricter kind of religion, works better with large civilization than those kinds of shamanic cultures. Because shamanic cultures, they work in a much smaller scale. Now, big religions who have strict rules that you need to follow, they work better in larger communities. I don't know, maybe the paganism you're talking about will work, maybe it can work.
It's more like, the practice is more like Stoicism. So, and obviously that came from, obviously their foundation was pagan, and even if they didn't believe in God, they still would take part in like just meditating and praying. So I'm just saying, like, we take the elements that give us richness, art, design, all these things that connect us to our ancestors, whilst at the same time embracing new truths.
Greeks were religious, but the Romans were much more pragmatic because
they accepted a lot of people who believed in different types of
they adopted the Greek gods, made them their own, and they changed their names, right? Then the people that they conquered in those new lands, they accepted some of the gods from their pantheon inside of their own pantheon, because they knew very well that the more gods you have, the less importance they possess. If you have lots of gods, that means religion has a smaller power.
Well, you're saying Hinduism has thousands of gods. I think that's not the world structured society. It's governing over billion people.
No, I mean that religion itself doesn't dictate what you do. Because you can choose a different god with a different opinion, and you can just say, "Oh, I follow a different god."
Yeah.
You can't, look, if you are a Christian or a Muslim, you say, "I follow the will of Allah," or "I follow the will of Christ or God."
Everyone needs to think that.
There is too much room for interpretation. I mean, obviously, we have lots of people here who just say the darnest of things in the world. Some of them say that I don't know, that Allah prays for Muhammad and his angels pray for Muhammad or whatever. Some people say that Christ was a demigod.
Yeah, I don't think the Muslims in this internet age are going to come to the conclusion that actually these are
their belief.
But Christianity and Islam, people are starting to stray away from religion. There's anything like
not the answer. Islam is spreading.
No, actually, the only reason it's spreading fast is because people born into it more children, and it's very strict. But there are a lot of people who still practice Islam even though they know better because they know that they'll get killed if they actually completely say
it is true that the population there is
and there's loads of groups in this area, in this country, that are like ex-Muslims.
I know many ex-Muslims. I know many ex-Muslims. But the thing is, Islam is bound to a pope, and pope right now is
but not all Christians are Catholic.
Dismantling Christianity.
Yes, but not all Christians are Catholics.
True. But that's exactly you're agreeing with me basically, because Orthodox Christians have a much stricter view of Christianity. So Orthodox Christianity is not.
You're saying it's like so you're saying if there has to be a strict religion because obviously they're the ones that last the longest.
I'm not saying that it has to be a strict religion, but religions that are stricter are assertive with their ideals will hold on better to existence. A religion that keeps changing itself and keeps compromising to every whim of the people who follow them, they won't exist for very long.
I think the paganism in Rome was fairly strong. It's just the fact that when Christianity came, it promised new things that paganism didn't. For example,
cancelling slavery. Christianity ended slavery in the Roman Empire. Yes. That's one of the main reasons the Roman Empire was gone, because they were based on slavery, and Christianity was a very popular
slavery
with slaves.
Slavery continued in Christian Europe.
No, but it wasn't like that. Look, there were servants, but there were no slaves. There were no official slaves as before. In the Eastern Roman Empire, for example, there were no slaves. Slavery was completely cancelled. Now, in the Western Roman Empire, it got dismantled, and there were many kingdoms who formed from the, barbarian kingdoms, like the Franks, the Burgundians, the Visigoths, the Vandals, blah blah blah, all those guys, and they still had a form of slavery, even though it was more of a servant kind. But it wasn't the same slavery as with the Romans.
So what about the African slave trade? They're all Christians.
Do you know that, I actually got the, especially with the Portuguese, and you know that in Brazil, after the Portuguese priests saw what was being done to African slaves, they quickly converted the Brazilian. It's true. And
they would have done that anyway. The whole point of Christianity is to spread it to the whole world.
But obviously the colonialists wanted something, so they enslaved those people before the priests could do anything. Yeah, sure.
Being the church like part of the colonialists that were enslaved?
I can't hear you.
Wasn't the colonialist part of the church part of the colonialists who were enslaved?
Not necessarily.
So the Pope, for example, gave his blessing for slavery to continue in Africa. The Pope at the time, I can't remember.
No, remember Britain wasn't Catholic.
Yeah, Britain wasn't Catholic, but Portugal and Spain, two of the biggest and strongest Catholic empires at the time. These whole kingdoms were actually built off of their empires they built in the New World, were predominantly Catholic, massively Catholic. Yeah. All of their rulers were Catholics. To say that Catholic or the church had nothing to do, or the Pope himself had nothing to do, did not condone slavery happening, it's a fallacy. It's like false history.
But I think
let me explain you why that's not a good point. Because the Pope doesn't have absolute control over the people. The Europeans have been fighting each other for ages, for generations. The 100 Years' War is the best example. You know about that. The Pope doesn't have absolute control, and the Pope knew perfectly well that he couldn't
the Holy Roman Empire dismounted the Pope several times.
They had their own Pope. There were two Popes.
They had the Pope and the anti-Pope.
No, they had exactly. They had their own Pope. It's some but look, my point is,
these families, right, who actually became popes, right? So a lot of these popes were actually people before they became popes. And they usually came from quite big families. Exactly, that's the point. And they actually came from quite big families. Quite a lot of times there's actual interests in the and those popes were quite happy for those families to continue those interests, especially if they support their power base as pope at the time. So I would take all the sort of in history and to see the sort of church as sort of separate from that, it's sort of to ignore like not to say Christianity itself, same as Islam itself, condones slavery. I'm not saying that you would do, but people who claim to be Christians or Muslims went out there directly and they were slavery as sometimes
basically like say
I don't have any doubt that there were some Christians who saw slavery. There's many Christians who saw slavery and were appalled by it. There's also many Christians
what is that? I'm not sure. I know this term, but
the thing is, there was a loophole in that logic. I'm not saying that the Christians they were the good guys that never wanted to slave everybody. The thing is, there is something that works in kingdoms and in empires that's the interest of the country, the interest of the empire. Every single empire was built on conquering new lands. To expand. And the kingdoms, Spain and Portugal, there was a part of history on which Spain and Portugal did a treaty. It was called Treaty of Tordesillas. It basically divided the whole between those two countries. They were the first My point is, and it's not spreading. Didn't really want to have too much in that stuff. He didn't want to say you can't enslave those people. He said you can't enslave those
kind of launch pad.
If the priests were able to convert against
globalization.
that's it. That's it. They had no choice to enslave them. But the thing is, the colonialists enslaved those people before they could be converted, before anything was done. So they enslaved them. And basically, many of the priests and the Pope, they didn't really care too much because they were standing for the that's not
those compositions, you know, it sounds like you see, there's so many different considerations to take into account. Ideally, free all the slaves, you don't actually do that because
Who's we now? We say we'll get globalization and
the Portuguese themselves were quite specific not necessarily the Christians or the church, the Portuguese colonialists. It's like in places like Angola, the population there is still so reduced. You have places like Brazil, they have a massive population, and you can see that they were really taking so many slaves from Africa and sending them to Brazil. So although the priests paint the Portuguese as they were like their father. Like the Portuguese, they were like perfect. Like the Portuguese definitely had a very, like I would say they were one of the worst in terms of colonialism during that period of time.
I mean, they were the first ones.
Exactly, they were first. I mean, like the harshness in which they treated Angola and Brazil, and the policies they implemented there. So that's the thing. Notwithstanding the police that went there, I have no doubt that it would have happened, and I'm sure it probably did happen in Jamaica. We had many Christian missionaries who got there and they were like shocked and surprised.
Thanks for that, man.
And they wrote letters back to the monarchs. So I have no doubt that happened. But the majority were more than happy to make a profit off of this exploitation. But yeah, I didn't want to.
But look, man, I don't think Portuguese can be the worst for one simple reason. They didn't have the power to be the worst. They didn't have a lot of population, they didn't have a lot of manpower, a lot of weapons, a lot of military power to invade African countries and take all the slaves and do all that stuff.
Not in capacity.
They only had small enclaves on the coast in the African countries. And sometimes they would attack the people, sometimes they would enslave them, sometimes they would buy slaves from other people who existed there.
Slavery in the sense of Europeans from Africa to America. And this would have happened if when the first Europeans contact the Africans and they wanted to trade, and the Europeans were obviously making guns and in exchange. The only thing they had in exchange were slaves. Because
not the only thing, they had other things like gold, ivory, many resources. But slaves were one of those resources.
Exactly, because that was a lot of the economy was based on that. And it was great, we could get resources, gadgets like guns and all this technology that we have to just go into the savannah, go on some tribes and
exactly, I would describe it exactly like that. It was more or less.
You think Europeans went into Africa and
obviously not.
had no idea.
Like I said, the Portuguese didn't have the manpower.
Of the people had just grabbed them and
Exactly, yeah. So on the first contact that we had on record was a man named Henry the Navigator, Prince Henry of Portugal. And we know for a fact that Henry didn't go there and talk, like you said, and trade peacefully. He got there, found the land hot, palatable, found that his people didn't really get on there. They grabbed what they could. So they raided right at the outset, and then they took off. They were really actually trying to navigate a way around Africa to get to India. That was the plan, right? So on their first meeting, they raided and they took. So it wasn't like a nice, benevolent, let's come and trade. They got there, they raided, they took. Later on, as you say, they met different kings at different times on the coast. So let's not pretend like it's an African monarchy. It's not like any African king.
almost like 99% of the slaves were captured by other Africans and sold to
I don't think that's a fact. I think that's true. I don't think
Still,
still.
the thing is, the Portuguese, the first expedition was only a few ships.
Yeah, of course.
It wasn't a lot. They simply didn't have the power
But the thing is,
to do all those things.
The thing is, right, I think what happens is when you look about it, right, you guys look at, I suppose, more from a European perspective, and you think, you get to a land and there's all villages there and they don't have the power. I first thought it wasn't necessarily, like when they got to South Africa, the Khoisan were a migratory people. They didn't just chill on the coast there. So when these guys got there on West African coast, they didn't just turn up in somebody's village. They turned up on land, which people probably wasn't even there. So it wasn't like they had huge defences and had to fight. So like you're saying, these small ships were very easily able to grab what they could and get out before any response from the state. And you have to remember the state they landed on was governed from Gal, right? Gal, which is right in the middle of Sahara, right? Basically, thousands of miles away from the coast and this is happening. So I don't know how you expect the response to happen in any kind of way that you're imagining. So these Europeans were possibly able to grab people. So what you're saying, and I'm trying to explain to you right at the start, right? So as time goes on, as the Portuguese and the Spanish now, because remember Henry goes back now and says, look, I've got this land, what are you going to do? He gets more people, more ships. They have a superior weaponry and superior military, right? They are able to conquer and defeat in several occasions.
but because they were captured them, that's a whole different story.
Okay, no, but they were able to defeat militaries on those coasts all across the border. And we see different camps from different European powers popping up at different points throughout history on that coast. So like you're saying, they might not be doing much of the fighting inland, but they're definitely doing a lot of the fighting outland and creating strongholds.
So they get the coups, but that's not, but there's still like a huge land inside that, we do seriously believe that if the Africans didn't have this tradition of catching slaves and selling it to people who would you say that you still have millions, when you say millions of slaves would somehow still be exported into America by Europeans catching slaves?
No. I'm not denying that.
The resources, but there's no way they had those resources.
I'm not here to deny that Africans partook in themselves in capturing Africans and selling them to Europeans. This idea that it was 99%, I massively disagree with. Because one second. How does Europe, over this period of time, 100 years, right? 100 years, how does Britain, France, Spain go from having these little enclaves on the coast to taking over massive parts of land without conquering those people? How do we have battles where we have actual documented battles where Africans are fighting against European powers to try and keep hold of their land? How do we have
I explain that because when the British went on their crusade to stop slavery, the Africans were saying that no, don't do this, our economy is based on it,
So basically you just put the blinders on. So basically put the blinders on, and so Britain was the perfect nation doing all the
it's a perfect nation.
So basically you're massive and you're going to ignore all the other things that happened that Britain was doing in the meantime.
You have an African society that has its economy based on slavery, and then Britain turns up saying, no, we're going to stop this, saying like, oh shit.
But that's not what happened though. And this is the thing, what I'm trying to do here is I'm actually trying to have a marriage conversation with you, right? Where we actually talk about things in actually the historical context of which they happened. So what you're trying to do is jump out from one point of history to another point of history and trying to make it act like that's what happened at this time. So when Britain increased its power on the coast, so just say in the Niger area and so on and so forth, this was not during the point in time when Britain was talking about ending slavery. In fact, when England was increasing its influence on the Niger area coast, it was actually increasing its power in the same.
I'm saying that's what I'm saying. Like, so basically, the slave trade that started in Israel.
No, the scramble for Africa had long started before that.
Yeah, but you say it were just coastal areas, it's not taking the whole swathe of land.
They were bit by bit. Before they decided to fully take over swathe by land, you don't just take over swathe of land like overnight like that. You yourself said that they weren't able to do that. So I don't know how you're trying to have one argument where you're saying Europeans can't take over whole swathes of land, and then another argument where you're saying Europeans can take over whole swathes of land just to
I'm saying Europeans on
so I'm trying to say to you, try and be logical, try and stick to our arguments. I know it's difficult for you because you want to paint the British invasion of Africa as this benevolent, beautiful thing. When the Africans were savage, one second, wait, let me finish. When the Africans were savage and when the British were somehow these civilizing forces, right? But I'm trying to say to you, there's a nuance here, and there is history here, and you have to actually follow the history. I want you to follow the history. So I'm trying to say to you, from having these coastal enclaves, right? Britain increased their power. We have documented historical battles which took place between different tribes on those coasts, right? We know
know this for a fact. We know that the actual Songhai money, those tribes that like themselves to Britain. Okay, eventually, but we're talking about throughout a period of time, right? So we're not talking about good people who just said Britain here, hey guys, take our slaves, give us your guns, as you nicely painted earlier on. What we're talking about is actually people who struggled against a superior military force, and actually because they struggled against a superior military force, divisions occurred between those tribes. The British force were able to exploit those divisions, giving weapons to certain groups to attack other groups, and create an actual culture. And actually create the culture here, which you're trying to pretend was always in existence, of mass slavery, which was never the case. But actually, as you get a look into African oral tradition, and you see warfare was very limited. You didn't have much pillage. Okay.
There were warrior castes, there were warrior civilizations there. The Zulus. The Zulus beat the British with different weapons. They were great warriors. It was the whole society. I think he means
champions. Right now we're talking about West Africa, we've got right up to the Zulus. We're talking about West Africa, the 16th. Zulus became a warrior civilization. They discussed about how the Shaka, they was a warrior civilization. This guy had I'll explain that to you, don't worry. We'll explain South Africa in a bit. Let's stick with West Africa right now. What we have, right, is history where the cities weren't pillaged like this, were none of them, right? It wasn't pillaged warfare like you had in Europe. You didn't have whole cities being raised, people being raised, and this whole kind of thing. What you definitely did have is definitely massive amounts of tribal conflicts. And when these tribal conflicts happened, you definitely did have the losing side and the Sultans on the winning side. So we see the formation of the Ghana Empire, Mali Empire, Songhai Empire. It's happening in several successions. The actual former ruling classes end up actually as servant classes and smaller classes in this new empire. So we see it actually happening in action. We see the slave trade actually happening in Africa, where they actually a chief rose up, his whole class would be taken and sold for the slave market, sold in West Africa. No one's denying that happened. That slave culture, you're talking about in West Africa that developed, that Britain so benevolently wanted to stop, was actually fueled by Britain giving those guns in the first place and creating that entirely new culture that was never there before. And I think that's what it's
that's what I'm saying. I'm not making out it's like it's a really perfect society. You know, I think the whole ending slavery was based on economic reasons, reasons. I accept that. At the end of the day, they ended slavery. And I know you downplay it as much as you can.
The thing is, we haven't even got to that point yet, because if we got to that point, we could have discussed about the ending of slavery. What we were trying to talk about was actually British steps before that, because that's the thing. When we have this discussion, British love to skip over the whole middle part and say, but Britain ended slavery and they've done all this brilliant stuff. And they like to ignore all that middle part between them. That's what I'm trying to get you to accept.
We're just saying that.
Didn't want to discuss it earlier.
I'm discussing that the fact is there were not competition in the coastal towns in Africa because they were that geared to put money where the sources get slaves and then take it to America. It's not just Britain here, it's just all these other European countries.
They traded with the Mozambique. There was a king there. There was a kingdom.
Britain in West Africa. So we talk about Portuguese and Mozambique. I know, but I don't know. Let's talk about Mozambique. Let's talk about Mozambique now, right? He became Christian, right? He took on the Christian culture, and it was very fundamental in telling slaves himself, right? He was actually very fundamental in capturing of Africans and sending them to Portuguese. So this new Portuguese king, or this new African king,
I won't say it was fundamental. He sold all the resources. Why so much on the slaves? Slaves are not the only thing we enslaved. Dude, slaves are every single people on earth have been enslaved on something.
I'm taking any credit away from African kingdoms. If we talk about African kingdoms and empires, we can talk about that all day. What we're trying to talk about is European slavery in Africa, basically. And the amount of which Africans are complicit for, and the amount of which Europeans are complicit for. And this idea that Africans are 99% Europeans are 1% more. 99% of slaves are captured by Africans and Europeans are captured by Why would
say like,
why would the Europeans? That's what why would the Europeans to send over people in Africa? Show you different examples of where England itself or different European powers themselves had actually used their force, their power, their might to actually to not only take slaves, then use divide and conquer tactics against the defeated army themselves to force them into to create a new culture, which we were trying to pretend was the status quo of African culture. Europeans just turn up and Africans were all wild, fighting each other, taking slaves left, right, and center, eager to sell them off.
Nobody's saying that it was like that. I'm not saying that it's like that. Let's give another example. The Portuguese also had some enclaves in India, in China, and in Indonesia. In Brazil. Why did the Portuguese take the Indians or the Chinese or the Indonesians? In very, very small numbers. Nobody speaks about the slave trade.
Like a few hundred or dozen in each settlement.
Because they didn't, you know, they didn't sell each other to slavery at all.
I mean, that's one perspective. I believe that
you can say that
was the actual it's actually about the intention, the idea about what the European empire wanted to do with these powers. So in India, and actually how when you actually read how they wrote and actually the ethnology of how they thought about the different ethnic groups, how they actually saw the Africans as savage and alert. They saw the Indians as a medium middle class, able to learn, able to understand. So the way in which they actually approach these different nations, these different countries, and when you look at the Orientalism and you actually look at the actual documents, they actually were writing Thompson, British explorer, whatever, talking about Africans with eyes in their chest and so on, and painting these real actual images of beasts, basically. It was the actual time. I think you have to actually look at the mentality of the people at the time, how they actually saw different races, different parts of people. Just the actual discovery, the actual realization of a widespread race of African people caused mass issues amongst the Christian church in Europe. To the point that people were questioning, how can these black people have come from Adam? And many people were writing different philosophies to write about how these demons came about on the land.
But look, when the Europeans didn't really know what was going on in Africa at that point. Come on, man, they were depicting people from Africa with faces on their chests and without the head. They were depicting dog people, like lion people.
This is the mentality of the people who had been there. They wanted to paint a picture of a savage people. No, this was actually during the exploration age of Africa.
In the beginning of the exploration, that's what they thought.
This was actually relatively modern. So the point is, the painting of these Africans, when you actually look at how the Europeans looked at Africa and Africans, the dark concept and these dark people, about how Europe looked at the origin of Asia and the Far East, they looked at it completely different and had completely different attitudes towards
because they had no contact with those cultures.
They treated them even worse than they treated Africans.
Because they had no contact with those cultures. Europeans didn't treat well the Native Americans.
Denying that.
Like the Aztecs, for example. Europeans saw them as complete savages. Even though they had a very great civilization.
You would say they would treat them exactly the same as but they didn't stay with them.
Okay, you just killed them and just cut them.
No, they died of smallpox.
Aboriginal South Australians.
Yes.
So you're telling me there's no record of British prisoners and British what do you call them? Explorers, whatever you want to call them, the nice ones.
Yeah, we didn't massive slave.
Cut their heads off and played football with the Aborigines. I don't know about
football with someone's head. That must be really cool.
I never heard of that specific.
Well, read up the history. Read up the history of what Europeans done.
I think that's propaganda.
Read up the history of what Europeans actually done. This is propaganda. These are facts. So when you do your own research and take the rose to his vegetables and actually look at what actually happened when Europeans, I've never argued that there was massively enslaved. I don't know why you're stuck in the slave thing. I think what happened to Australians was worse because they actually got their whole lands taken from them. They were slaughtered, and to this day they are third-class citizens in their country. So, and this whole idea of that Europe done colonization in the exact same place everywhere they went and treat people the same is another fallacy or fake argument that you guys are building up. Nobody's made. The point that I'm trying to make to you was a massive
same with the Native Americans.
I mean, Europeans' colonial attitude wasn't the same anywhere they went. They chopped and changed as they went through it.
It was different.
The question that was originally posed, that the reason why we went through, is why did they do it in Africa and not do it in other other places like India? Why would
Because
India
they
take a
cooked
slave?
in Africa, they
That's
cooked in
the
India.
argument you make, and I've posed the counter argument to show that there was a completely different mentality and perspective to the way in which Europeans looked at Africans and Africa to the way they looked at India.
Yes.
No one can deny that.
It's the same as But listen, the thing is, the Indians, first of all, the Indians were much more concentrated. There's a lot of Indians in a small amount of land. There wasn't a huge amount of Africans in one amount of land. We agree on that, right? That's a very important thing because there were lots of people, there were lots of soldiers, there were lots of, there was a lot of manpower. They could defend themselves very well against the European attacks. If the European decided to attack them, they couldn't because there were thousands of people in a small amount of land. In Africa, it was much easier in some parts. When there was an African kingdom, it was very hard, for the Europeans to attack them. So they usually established alliances or stuff like that with them, like the Mozambique we spoke about this. But the thing is, the Africans were seen differently, not because they were inferior or anything like that, because they were less organized on some parts of Africa. There were African kingdoms, great kingdoms, but there were lots of Indians, lots of Chinese, small amount of land.
That's a massive continent, even compared to India.
It was spread out, man.
And it was massively spread out. So when you had more organized, centralized empires like in West Africa and places like that, you could see more centralized empires. When you have more open space like the States, I don't doubt or disagree with that, and that definitely did allow a different type of colonization to take place in Africa. However, the idea that there was mass disunity and no unity of government. So like I said, even in Mozambique and with the Portuguese faced a horrific time there because even with that king talking about who converted to Christianity, I think he had a niece, Nzinga, who actually became Princess Anne, who actually fought against him, conquered him, and then fought against the Portuguese. So we see massive times in history where Africans themselves and African queens gather together and show they have centralized systems of government, show they have ways of actually formulating arms and militaries and able to actually fight superior armies on their own soil, which they've done. So Queen Nzinga, I suggest you guys also look her up. She was the niece of that king you're talking about who sold Africa about. She came back and righted the wrongs of her own country. So I think when maybe I'm dead sure it was from another kingdom, just in the further south, longer. I don't know what her name is. So all throughout African history, we have had civilized kingdoms, we had networks of government. However, I do not doubt that Europeans were better at military warfare, better at strategy, had far superior weapons, and were far better at exploiting ongoing issues on the African continent.
They didn't have numbers. They didn't have the numbers. Yes, they did do that. They did manipulate the situation there. Have an easier time. Just like the Romans did on the barbarian tribes.
Yeah, but at least the Romans had numbers to actually gather the slaves. The British or the Europeans didn't.
And any great conqueror, at least I see that there's some give and take and some nuance in understanding here, whereas this guy...
The thing is, I don't see any
we didn't have millions. We did not have millions.
I'm not trying to say anyone's
the Europeans did what they did.
That's it.
Because they could.
That's what I'm trying to say to you. I'm not trying to say anyone's good or bad. I'm just trying to say when we talk about history, let's talk about action as it is. Let's not try and paint over the history and try and pretend that as though let's skip over everything and let's talk about when Britain freed the slaves. Let's skip over everything and let's talk about when the Zulus became a militant culture. And let's ignore the fact that the Zulus, the Sosos, the Ndebele's, all those tribes had existed for at least 1,000 years prior to that without becoming majorly militarized as they did in the Zulu era with the coming of Shaka and the presence of
That's not practical. History shows that being a non-militarized country is not practical at all.
I'm not disagreeing with you. I think what Shaka done to unite South Africa and militarize the country was massively important. Like I definitely believe that it's like this idea that we can all live in peace and nice and friendly tribes that we try to do in Africa. I agree with you, that wasn't practical and we've seen the result of it because the African tribes massively failed. However,
examples of that nowadays.
Exactly.
When Ukraine gave up their nuclear weapons and now Russia just invades Ukraine and nobody does shit. That's it. You don't have weapons to defend yourself. You get fucked.
And I agree with that. That's the thing. I agree with you. To be honest, you can talk about that. There's other people who want to look at it and they don't want to say the reality is Europe had the power to do something. They had the military intelligence to do something, and they didn't. other people want to look at it and say, well, no, Europe, they were trying to civilize, no, the Africans, they were savage, and they give all these excuses for reasons, and really it comes down to real politics. It comes down when it comes down to politics, international politics, there is no law. The power rules, the power wins, and that's it. And Europe had that power at that time. And that's what I'm trying to say. So I'm trying to make an argument, but I feel like some people like this guy over here, I just feel like he has these tennis spectacles. He really believe that Europeans were actually benevolent in what they were trying to do.
I never said that. That's a straw man. That's a straw man. No conquest was done to improve the life of foreigners. All I'm saying is Europe didn't have thousands of millions of troops to gather up the slaves in Africa. It was by other Africans. Yeah, it wasn't that simple. But it's sometimes how did they get the slaves? Yeah, a combination. You know, they had thousands of troops to go into Africa. No, yeah, look, I agree with you about that.
So once again, when Shaka Zulu did manage to pin down Cape Town, right? What did Britain do? How many ships did they send?
They had guns, they just need to defend that place.
How many ships did they send after that?
What do you mean, the Battle of Isald 1 or the Battle of Roy's Rift?
Whichever one. How many?
The first one, Isald 1, was the biggest British defeat ever. It was, you know, they had an inferior number in terms of Zulu, and they completely wiped out a superior British force with superior weaponry. That was a complete disaster, military disaster. One of the greatest things.
Look how tiny that British army is.
No, but look, that was British more than the Zulu.
Yeah, but that was a time where Britain ended slavery.
No, that was before they ended slavery.
I think it was possibly after the end of slavery. Okay, but Britain's interest in South
that was the scramble of Africa. We're getting confused.
Okay, look. You disagree with me. Basically, what happened was slavery had ended, but British interest in South Africa was never really about taking slaves, as you was just saying. It was about taking the land, as you were saying. So there was never really much slaving done on that South African coast.
It was not economically viable.
And that's the point I'm trying to make. The interest that
okay, but look, guys, it's inconsequential if slavery was we agree on one thing. They were trying to conquer Zululand. The Zulus fought the British. That was the first battle. The second battle was Crook's Drift, was the British fought off a far superior Zulu force because the British actually didn't underestimate their enemy that time. And you know, the Zulus retreated. They respected them as warriors. Blah blah blah. You can watch the movie called Zulu. It's actually a pretty historical episode. It's pretty good. But I didn't study beyond the movie. So it's a very interesting story. But my point is, it doesn't really matter if they were trying to enslave them or not. They were trying to expand their empire into foreign lands. The Zulus didn't want to let it happen, so they saw it. That's the natural way of things. You know, it happened with the Mongols, with the Romans, with the Greeks, with the Persians.
The Mongols and the Germans.
Okay, yeah, the British had less troops, but they had military.
And you're saying that with those less troops, they managed to still get those millions of Africans?
Yeah,
I don't know. So once again, we're British people, right? Britain wasn't alone in colonizing Africa.
No, it was a scramble for all the Europeans.
The scramble for Africa, as you said, that particular time was happening there. And during that time, European powers did invest large numbers into Africa. So, as we just spoke about in South Africa, to hold the thing to Zulu. So, you've seen European powers definitely during that period of time had large military numbers.
Not much. You know, they like a few hundred or a few thousands.
A few thousand, definitely.
And Africa had millions.
I mean, Africa isn't a monolith.
There were armies of hundreds of thousands fighting.
That was mainland Europe, but not ships going into Africa.
No, ships going into Africa. Ships going into Africa. They were sending thousands of people to. This idea that Africa's a monolith, so all of the African nations were fighting together against these meager little European forces is again false.
Yeah, I know it's
that he keeps mistaking purposefully, I believe, because he doesn't want his argument to be shown up. So let's try again.
You mean that Africans didn't have local superiority numbers?
Yeah, so basically, for example,
they did. They usually had local superiority numbers.
For example, right, you turn up to South Africa, let's forget South Africa, we're talking about before discovery. You turn up to West Africa, with your European peoples, right? African kingdoms, especially on the coast of Africa, right, were significantly more fragmented than inland Africa, right? So you had the big kingdoms like Songhai, like Darfur, all these other sorts of kingdoms, right? So back to on the coast, you had much smaller ones like Ashanti and so on and so forth, much smaller kingdoms, and even within those kingdoms, their fighting numbers, their fighting men were a certain number. Maybe more than Europeans, there were a certain number. These are men armed with what, spears, swords, and things like this. Europeans show up with a few thousand military and organized trained men with muskets who know how to use them, right? They now are the superior army in anyone's estimation in that situation. Do you understand what I'm trying to say to you? So you can have 10,000 men with swords and spears. If I have 2,000 men who are military drilled and know how to use their muskets, we're going to win every single time. Do you understand? You're going to win bad. And that's the point. That's what you're trying to do now. Trying to say that Africa had this massive majority, or that basically the Romans were able to conquer because they had a massive number. Romans conquered.
Not really. Romans had usually they have superior weapons and have superior training.
They had superior weapons, superior training, but they had more numbers as well, right? That's the
compared to the British.
Compared to what the British had.
But look, guys, that's the thing. If you put all the Roman Empire against all the British, then yeah, Romans have more. But local superiority is different from absolute superiority. The whole Roman Empire obviously had many times more numbers. But the Romans who actually went to Britain to try conquering Britain were much smaller. They had a much smaller army than the British. That's my point. Local superiority is different from absolute.
No disrespect to the British people. They're not.
Hey Raj, what are you doing? What are you doing? I thought you were sick and you ain't coming.
Yeah, it wasn't raining though, so I was waiting for weather to see how it was going to rain.
Why you got them fighting gloves on for?
Yeah, look at that today. Look at that. Crazy, man.
You seen you planning on fighting today?
What
Yeah.
is it? Every time I do a fist bump with guard, my hands look like little baby hands. So I'm trying to kind of like even it out a bit.
You saying what's the topic for today?
We're going to chat about. We're going to carry on the topic from the police and India. Hopefully we can get through it without it getting too hostile or anything like last time. But where is he here? Look who's here. TNT Greeks. TNT in the house. Let's go. Yeah, last minute I just decided. But I'm wrapped up today.
Fresh jacket.
Fresh jacket, no? The heat though, man. Where's the heat? Where is it? You should have been on there. Oh, look, is it Omar? Is he allowed back? Get back. Oh, that was crazy. Big up Blue Lion. I was up until 9 in the morning.
Shake my hand.
Welcome to Fist Bump. Yeah. What's your back? Man. Are you a new person like me?
I'm a new person.
I'm Rod 5.0. Are you Omar 5.0?
Yeah. I'm changed, man. I'm a changed.
Sure?
Shut up, man.
We've all upgraded. We've all upgraded. Move. I still you do. Punch me. That's yours.
I don't need to waste my time putting my name on things. Man's back in the parking, huh?
Punch me now. I'm alive. But I was apologising for calling Macu an N-word. That wasn't you.
Nah, man. Why am I going to break the law?
You sound like a schoolboy today.
Yeah.
What do you think about Omar's?
I don't mind as long as they're civil and everyone can to get along.
That's it, man.
And that's the main thing. We don't want to get in the silliness of the park getting, or people getting banned. And
I
people
like
getting
Max,
closed
you
down.
ugly little fucking cunt.
No, it's ugly as you.
You ugly little cunt. I get more pussy than you. Look at that. What's that?
You never
What's
get
that,
pussy.
bro? What's that? I'm
Who
sure.
would ever?
Hold on.
Who would
What's
ever do
that?
anything if you?
Sure, I'm taking
But you're gay, though, aren't
Anything
you?
if you know.
All right.
I'm not.
Somebody, I heard somewhere that you're gay. Someone said you're gay. I don't
Yeah,
know.
but we always take shit, aren't
Oh,
they?
yeah. I believe Steve was gay for like 7 months, and I knew it.
But he so often tried it on with me, and I said
I was
no.
like, all right, let's go for a dinner date. You turned me down all the time, though. I thought it was because I was Sikh. I thought it was because you don't like fat Sikhs. Have you been?
Yeah, okay. I think you must have passed your man for once.
Oh, right.
I wouldn't really wind up that boy.
Is there Ralph here as well? Ralph.
Evidences and proofs that Prophet Muhammad is a true prophet, logic dictate you should believe what he came with. Correct? To make it clearer to you, Ryan, imagine someone comes to me, a doctor, and he said, you know, Shamsi, I know your problem, the disease that you have. And I said, you know what, I accept and I believe that you do know. So logic dictate I follow his advice. If I say, you know what, I'm gonna forget you, people think you're dumb. If you accept that he's a doctor and he knows the problem with you, logically speaking, you should follow up with his implementing his advice. Okay? So let me ask you, who knows the future in details? Except the creator. Because why? In order for me to make a phone, I have to have a knowledge how to make a phone in details. That's why no one knows about the phone in details except the maker. Okay, logical argument. Now, Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, as a Muslims, we don't just believe Prophet Muhammad is a true prophet because he was an Arab or because his name Muhammad. No, because we have a tangible proofs and evidences that we can share with everyone to come to conclusion based upon your intellect and natural inclination that Prophet Muhammad is a true prophet. One of them, he said there will come a time when the Arab Peninsula will turn into rivers and to gardens. Let me show you something and you can do your own check. A brother, sorry brother, no, sorry. A brother put up something in his status, yeah? So I WhatsApped him, I said, are you in Welsh? He said, no, that's Saudi.
Yo, Shamsi, am I not allowed
Watch
to
this.
greet you? Huh? Am I not allowed to greet
Watch
you?
this is what Prophet Muhammad said. Alayhi salatu salam.
After Shamsi, now we've got to finish business here.
Hey, I want to point the camera as well. This is Saudi. Let me show you this. Saudi was a pure desert. Let alone you see rivers and gardens. So the Messenger of Allah, what he said that it will go back how it was before. You understand? Now exactly, Murujan wa Anhara, barakallahu, yes, quite word as the brother mentioned. Murujan wa Anhara, rivers and gardens and so on. So there was no any indication to indicate that. Rather, would they call them again? What they call them again? Not archaeologists. People that the science that deal with nature. Geologists, and one of them are geologists. Yeah, geologists. Yeah. They said the Arab Peninsula, million years back, was what? Was rivers and gardens. So at the time of Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, there was no any indication. Pure desert. You see what I'm saying? It's 50 degrees. A donkey can live there. It's 10, he has to go somewhere else. So how he knew that? That knowledge of the Creator. Another one, Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said, will come a time when you see the barefoot Arab man who will compete in building tall buildings. When the Prophet Muhammad mentioned that, Ryan, yeah, there was no any indication to indicate they would do that. Because at the time of the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, those who were known for building tall buildings are the Persians, the Egyptians, the Romans, and the Greeks. Maybe you know where is the tallest building in the world? Dubai. You see what I'm saying? That is a powerful thing. And the Messenger of Allah, what he said, they will compete with one another. So I'm saying, another one I will give you. Allah mentioned the Quran to Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, that your name, O Muhammad, or likewise the description, has been mentioned in the previous books. Okay? We can go back now to the Old Testament, Isaiah 42. Let me get the book to show you, because I don't want to just speak. I want to show you what proof and evidence.
I can explain, there are so many words. It says salam, God said that I will pray for Muhammad, that means
They are just filming,
that makes
asking the same question again, been refuted thousands of times, and they go and stop Muslims that who are not that much knowledgeable or something, but that's what their job is, my bro. That's what they do. That's what they do. Deceivers. I call them the Decepticons.
Yeah, man, I'm back in the park, man, at Rax TV, big up, done, no? Like and subscribe to Rax TV. Don't forget to share, though. Yeah. When's the last time you brushed them? I'm gonna get you some Colgate, some fucking toothpaste.
Have you looked in the mirror?
I look better than you, my brother. I'll leave him alone, man. It's colour coordination, innit? The yellow. Pretty, what do you think? What are you?
I mean, God doesn't exist. But if he was, then God wouldn't exploit. God wouldn't exploit their own creation, would they? But I mean, like, God doesn't exist.
I know, I don't speak to the converted.
Should I tell you how many slaves there?
It
has truths
And
in
I'll
there.
ask you the question.
It has truths in there.
What type of truth
Hello.
do you get from it?
What is the topic?
Huh? It's about the truth.
Topic's about the truth.
Yeah. Now, he's saying that you can get some truth from the Bible.
Sorry?
Some truth.
I'm saying there are truths. What the Bible talks about, the Bible receives certain principles which are spiritual truths. It also reveals the history of a certain people. It reveals how those people have interacted with other nations as they've lived over the last 4,000 years. It also reveals the Messiah, the Christ, the second person of the Godhead who came from heaven. The Bible has various things that it talks about, but whatever it talks about is true. Whatever subject, historical, scientific, geopolitical, historical, whatever in my opinion, I believe it is true. I believe that's my primary source of truth, the Bible. Okay, that you understand where I'm coming from. But like I said, the box of truth is not contained in the Bible, just in the Bible. It has certain truth.
Outside the Bible, that's what I'm trying to find out from you.
What is outside the Bible? Well, we can't. Sorry? We are human beings. We're finite beings. We can't know the whole of truth. The whole of truth is God is infinite. God is infinite, and God knows everything. Yeah, God says the earth, not the universe. God says the earth was created in 6 days. It doesn't describe how it was done technically. It just says it was done. God understands how it was done. I do not. But I believe it was done by God, because God has the power to do that. It doesn't describe word by word how it was done, but it tells me it was done. And I believe whatever the Bible says is the truth.
Let me ask you this question. If you can understand life today,
And in India is a pretty large area. It's like back then historically it was like
I mean,
India,
the
Nepal,
problem is when
Bangladesh.
everyone thinks of India, like somebody, I won't say their name, somebody on the live stream last night was triggered with me going on there, started getting mad. And I don't know who that person is, but she was crazy. And she said, "Oh, you're all just Indians." And I was like, wow, imagine if I said you're all just Africans. Like India and even Africa is one of the most genetically diverse places in the world. Just because, you know, someone's black, it doesn't mean they're the same as somebody from that area or that area.
Yeah.
And same with India. I mean, there's so many diverse populations around there.
Different
so
culture, language, religious ideas, genetics, environments.
So if you go to the north, the language branch is the Indo-European. And if you go below, a lot of people think I can understand people from the south, and I can't. It's just gobbledygook to me, like it would be to you anyway. Yeah, so I'm going to talk to, where's Big Ards? Get him down here, man. We need to talk about this early.
Big Ards.
Big up Betty as well, though.
Anyway, we're going to go to lunch. You'll catch it.
What's been going on? Anything good? I don't want to talk to Adnan Rashid because I don't like him anymore. Oh, look at this. How's it going on, man?
Wow, you with
yeah, I know. This is like, I'm ready for...
You better be.
Now I need to learn how to punch.
Well,
because I've got the knuckles.
Punch, yeah, but you got to learn how to move.
How do we do? Do we do like let me do a 1-inch punch? My brother used to do 1-inch punch.
You need practice.
My brother used to always do this to me. Come up to me and go. And I was like,
you need to practice a lot.
Yeah. Are you going to teach me exclusive? Are you going to teach me exclusive?
You got to know how to move your body.
Could you imagine me being able to fight as well? I'll be deadly.
But
the mouth and the fist. Look at that, he knows he's losing.
But it's about how you move your body, practicing the power. Yeah. It's not about size. Yeah. Size is not because it's how you use the strength.
Are you trying to tell me you're a badass? Is that what you're trying to indirectly say?
As a puncher, you know, it's how you move the body combined. Because you can be big guy, but the power big.
Could you take out Muhammad Hijab? Could you take out Muhammad Hijab?
I wouldn't.
No. If you was in an MMA match, you think you could take him out because you're quite. He's 6'5". Would you have to take him out?
He's a big guy. I mean, he's professional. Remember?
Why did you just hit him in the balls?
See, it's not just the balls. The body, certain part of the body is the weakness. A lot of people thought it's only the grind and the foot is not. I can hurt. You know, the people can hit the grind. Do you know that? Yeah. People can take it.
So the 1-inch punch is real, though, is it?
It's real.
Because I used to think my brother was trolling me. He was going 1-inch punch. He done Wing Chun for quite a
Because how long have you practiced really good? Do he do it really?
He done it for like 7-8 years.
But one thing is, do he really practice hard?
Yeah, he was always in the garden doing like karate kid moves all the time.
What I mean is, fighting move is one thing, yeah. But what I mean is, if you want to do 1-inch punch, basically you need to press up one hand.
All right.
It's about finger as well. That's why we press our fingers. Because the body could be very strong.
He's my bodyguard now,
right? Raj, do you know that? Even you can be the biggest guy like the chief up here. He might be able to take punch from people here.
He can't take a punch though. We've already assessed that. He got punched by an 8-year-old man and he nearly fell to the ground.
He jabbed.
Yeah. Have you not seen that video? The guy had a walking stick. And he
what? He jabbed.
Yeah, and his jaw fell down like a sack of potatoes.
But do you know that Muhammad Hijab is on about the Hebrew, yeah? You know nothing about Hebrew. Yeah. Could you imagine if I'm talking about the Hebrew? Just imagine if I'm talking about, oh yeah, the Sikh, or I don't know what about the Sikh. What the heck? I don't know.
Oh, another Sikh. You know? That's right. How you doing? A lot of Sikhs in the park today.
No. What I mean is,
a lot of Upper in the park today.
Muhammad Hijab.
I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 at the moment.
Type in Muhammad Hijab going to Hebrew school tonight, yeah? He don't even know what he's talking about.
So are you saying like someone like Steven Seagal? Steven
Seagal is a wimp.
I know.
Real life, he's a wimp.
Steven Seagal reminds you of Muhammad Hijab, like a big guy.
But do you know that Steven Seagal?
I'm gonna go grab some D's and come back, man. But let me talk a bit. I don't even know now. I'll be back.
He said he trained.
This is a bit mad.
You don't have a camera.
All right. What we did? Hey, Steve, I got you a Christmas present. I think everyone. Listen, give it to me off camera. No, listen. And I got your Christmas card.
Christmas card for
Alright, where's Jordan? If he doesn't come, yeah. No, it's come. Listen. This is what's it called?
It's gold leaf.
No, it's a present. Listen, what was I going to say? Today, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
You're going to have a proposal.
رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة. Steve, because you're atheist, you get half a Christmas present, half a Christmas card, not the full one.
Who's getting the other half?
No, the other half got it. Bill, what's his name? Chris got it. Bill, your friend. Because you're atheist,
you're going to write it in front of me.
Yeah, listen. Because you're atheist, you get an only half, and you're going to get a present today as well. No, listen. This is going to be.
You didn't want to waste it in case I wasn't here.
Listen, no, I've got another one, but it's for Jordan. Because Jordan, he became Muslim. You get a proper Christmas card. Jordan, the English guy that comes here, the tall guy, the stocky guy. I don't know if you're watching Jordan.
So if you turn Muslim, you get a proper Christmas card.
Yeah, and if you're Christian, you get one as well. But because you're atheist, you get half. Only because you say La ilaha. All you have to say now is illallah, you become a Muslim. Say La ilaha, that means there's no God. That means there's no God, innit? Okay, but you say illallah. Yes! Well done.
Shankman, what's up? This is Mr. Shankman.
Listen, I got you a present. I'll give it to you as well. To Steve, Mary. Listen, Steve, how was your holiday?
I haven't had a holiday yet.
What? Where are you going on holiday? Why are you staying here? Why don't you go to Thailand?
I would love to, probably later in the next year.
Are you serious?
One of the best countries on this planet.
Yeah, I'll give it.
You mean the card to Steve?
Absolutely.
To Steve?
He's got his priorities sorted.
To you?
To me.
Okay.
To you, to me, to you,
What's
to
that?
me.
Steve.
Did you use like the...
What was that video you
About
made?
your era.
What was that video you made about me when I got banned? Said I was going to be banned forever. I'm back, Steve.
What do you want me to do? Another video?
Yeah, why not?
How long for? That's the question.
I'm back forever, baby.
Really? You're going to behave yourself?
I'm a changed man, Steve.
Really?
I'm a changed man.
How have you changed?
You'll see, I'm calmer. I'm a nice person.
You're calmer?
Yeah, I'm a nice person.
You do look good. Time will tell.
I didn't say that. I even said, oh, come on, Brian. Cheer up, Brian. Come on.
Why are you calling out Brian?
Sorry. What's his name? Sorry. What was your name again? Sorry.
That's deliberately provocative. If I was to do the same,
But you said you were a changed man.
I don't know his name, so obviously I'm saying.
So you're not very changed.
Huh?
You're standing in front of COE's camera. Sorry, back to you, Mo.
Oh yeah. Hey, what's your name? TNT. Come here. Come here. Where's Jordan? Come here for a second. Alright, this is for you, Steve. No, you don't return the present.
Is that a lid from a curry? It's a lid from a curry.
That's what Mo got me.
Listen.
Look, he can
That's
write.
what Mo bought me. Look.
He can actually write.
Steve, look. That's what Mo got me.
I'm gonna give Steve
that cultural appropriation.
I'm gonna give Steve the best. Look how nice. No.
Come on.
Look at the present I got for Steve. Look. COE.
What's the meaning of this?
This is a present from Modi to you.
Thank you very much.
This is for Steve.
What's thank you in Arabic?
Shukran. So I just wanted to say that everyone, like obviously, I said Merry Christmas to everyone, you know, and I hope that you lot, you know, just be happy and have a good time with your family.
Thank you very
All right.
You leaving?
I hope that everyone has a good time with their family, and I wish that people can just try not to stress too much and you know, try and take it easy because Leon, this is for you. It's a bird. Yeah. But his leg is broken, but I fixed it. Yeah, it's limping like that. Yeah, but that's for you for Christmas. Yeah, Merry Christmas. Right, Leon, listen. Hey, Leon, listen. Leon.
tell you. You know you see my brethren putting dough in the thing, fam. My brethren putting £100 Hey, listen. And this is for Jordan when he comes. Listen, all I wanted to say is that obviously I want everyone to get ready because Armageddon can the end of times can come anytime. You get me? Don't feel safe because the end of times can come. Everyone be careful. Don't think this life is a joke where you can just eat, sleep and have fun. No. It's time to get ready because Armageddon can come, the day of judgment can come. Jesus is going to return with the Imam al-Mahdi. And when he returns, what is going to happen? Yeah, come here, brother, come.
No, I'm not married.
Are you Christian?
Yes.
This is for you, this is for him. Because Jordan's not here, this is for you. Come here, come.
Hey.
Come here. This is Christmas present. I don't know this, brother, but you're Christian, yeah?
Aywa.
What's your name? Are you Christian? This Christmas present, the dove. You got a Christmas tree? Yeah. Hey, put you on the tree. Because Jordan is not here, I would have given it to Jordan. Anyway, listen, yeah? What I'm trying to say is that, look, yeah, at the end of the day, yeah, it's not a joke. It's not, God not created us here to just have jokes. We have to be working hard to the next life. You understand? If you lot are not praying, Salah, then start praying tonight. Pray to God, because if we die tonight and we haven't prayed, we haven't worshipped God, we haven't worshipped Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, what's going to happen? Like, the shaitan wants you to forget Allah. Shaitan wants you to just think of this dunya. Oh, this dunya, and not think of the next life, which is forever and ever, billions of years. That's what I'm trying to say. You wanna... Can I jump in this thing?
Merry Christmas!
Carry on.
Jesus is coming in 3 days.
Very good.
Very good
That's
in 2 days coming, yeah?
Yeah.
25.
I hope it comes soon.
He coming in 2 days.
2 days.
Yeah.
That's nice. No, I'm not.
Need to bring us some Sufi music.
I only bought
More than the book. So I said, okay, hold on. You're not Fahad Taslim. Yeah, how you doing? You all right? Yeah, Fahad.
Something to think about.
I can't define the word I myself, the whole I thing, but I can give you one little hint of what I was trying to explain in the world. 2,500 years ago.
Oh yeah,
I was saying it's a story that happened. It's real because he doesn't know who described.
Osama, you say you're ready?
Yeah, I'm ready, man. Is it going to be like a video? Is it going to be live? Or is it going to be live? Or is it going to be like a separate?
Do not watch that shit. Try and fucking stop that shit, bro. That's going to fuck you up, bro. It's going to cause problems.
How do we find a wife?
Brother, if you want to find the... If you want to find the wife, what, is it recorded? If you want to find the wife, brother, the first thing you have to do is make your intention pure. Don't just, oh, I want to mess around. No, this is wife for life. This, when you get, first of all, fix your intention. Second of all, stop, try and cut out all the sins. Make an agreement with God that you're not going to wank, you're not going to watch porn, you're not going to, make it like a contract. Say, God, I promise. Then make dua, then ask your family, then go on the websites, then save money, then travel. Do whatever you can do, bro. But try your best, bro. Don't stop. Ask brothers to help you. Go to the mosque. Keep the more you ask, the more you get. If you stop asking, then you're not going to get. You understand? And don't give up. and feel, oh, life is over. And my brethren was 60 years old and he got married to a young thing, 30-year-old thing. Yeah, blood. He's got 54 grandchildren, my friend. He died, yeah, he died, he's dead now. But what I'm saying, it's not too late, bro. Go get married, go live your life, go make some children. And listen, at the end of the day, I'm only saying this is a Christmas message from Modine. Stop masturbating, stop watching porn, and try and build a family, and try and get married, and settle down.
All men like porn.
Brother.
Ignore him, though. We know it, man. I want to do something, man.
Oh. No, it's not good for you, brother. Look at the scientific research. It says it destroys
Porn
family.
is good exercise.
Brother, it says it destroys
the right
family.
hand, is it not?
What? Come, one second. It says it destroys family.
Look, porn helps keep families together, if anything, doesn't it?
So you're sure about that?
Yeah, of course it do.
Who said that?
Well, if you think about it, if a man gets a bit frustrated with his wife, it's less dangerous to have a wank with a bit of porn than go out searching the streets. Is it not?
Alright, brother, yeah. Let me ask you this question.
Have you ever watched porn before?
I'm going to ask you, 1 second.
I like porn. Go on, ask me.
So you're not saying it's haram? You don't believe it's haram?
What's haram?
Porn.
You're going to finish
Porn is good.
You're very brave.
It's good for people.
You're going to finish your
That's not true.
Of course it is.
Yeah,
So why? It's big business, yeah. Porn.
So why is all the people getting divorced because of porn?
It's got nothing to do with porn.
Yes, it is.
No, why is pornography? How do you relate pornography and porn? Divorce.
I'll tell you how. Because
divorce is because people are unhappy in their marriage.
No, let me explain to you. You better make sure you don't when you watch, right? Listen, and then you're gonna your wife. Get this. Energy. This cheating. That's called cheating. Yes.
You're watching a blue movie. How's that
cheating? You're taking your energy and to another. You know. Your wife.
Have you ever watched porn? Have you ever watched
Raj, ask Raj that question. Raj, have you ever watched porn?
If you can't answer me, it means you've had a good...
Yeah, alright, this one.
video with you in it.
What,
oh, listen. Raj, listen.
You're not a porn star?
No, I'm not a porn star, listen.
When was the last time you watched porn?
No, astaghfirullah, brother, listen.
So you do watch porn?
Who said?
Because you won't deny it.
Nah.
If you hadn't ever watched
porn,
I'm saying... Deny it.
No. I'm saying I don't go near that shit.
When was the last time you watched it?
I don't go near that shit. Yeah, listen. All I'm trying to say, yeah.
What was the time?
Brother, do you believe in God? Do you believe in Jesus?
Don't.
You don't believe in God?
No.
So you believe that Satan? You believe in Satan?
I don't believe in anything.
So that's why you watch it, because you don't have
no. Porn
you don't have no.
Porn is good exercise. It's good to it keeps you sane.
What are you talking about?
Of course it does.
People are going crazy because of it.
No. There's all sorts of different types of porn. What type of porn do you watch?
Brother, it's all haram, brother. It's haram.
Let's do it here.
What's wrong with it?
God said, don't cheat. Don't fornicate.
How can, if you're watching a video, how can that be cheating?
Jesus said, Imam Ja'far Sadiq said, Jesus said, the eyes fornicate, the hands fornicate. It's not just your down there that's fornicating. It's your eyes as well. When you're watching haram, your eyes is fornicating.
You're telling me when you're walking down the street, you don't look at a nice ass? When you're walking down the street, you don't look at a nice ass? When was the last time you had a nice big
10 minutes. Brother, all I'm trying to say is
when was the last
that will destroy your marriage, brother.
No. It's good for you.
Women don't want to be cheated on.
They might not, but men do a lot of cheating, yeah? And if you watch porn, it helps them keep you out off the streets looking for a bit of extra.
It says that there are 1,000 psychological disorders caused by people who watch porn.
Porn. Probably 95%.
Alright, listen, all I'm trying to say, yeah, is this, yeah? All I'm trying to say is this. Those that are watching porn, I'm not trying to have a go at no one. I'm not trying to have a go at you, brother.
I don't think you're having a go at me.
No, I'm just trying to say, it's not 1 second, listen. All I'm trying to say
if you didn't watch
it's a sin.
Yourself,
it's a sin.
It's not a sin.
It's a sin.
How's watching porn sin?
Let me tell you why. Because you're looking at other people naked.
Yeah, what's wrong with that?
You're not allowed to.
If you go to the changing rooms, the gym, you're seeing everyone.
You're not allowed to look at people naked.
But you can't help it. If you go on the beach,
you have to.
Beach,
yeah.
What do you see on the
The first look is okay. Yeah, look is haram. No, that's not your fault. But if you, then you're gonna get a sin.
So you're me when you're walking the street and the girl's got a low on. have a good look at the centre spread.
Brother, that's from Shaitan.
It's from where?
Shaitan.
Well, I don't know what you're talking about now.
Satan.
Well, how's that Satan?
Because Satan, the arrow of Shaitan is porn. The arrow.
The arrow's porn?
Yeah.
Is the cock the arrow?
No. What I'm trying to say, look at this person here. Yeah. I'm just giving. I'm just an example. Okay, sorry. What I'm trying to say is a family. Would you accept your? If you had a family, you have a family.
Everybody has a family.
Would you expect them to watch it? Do you allow them to watch it?
If with each other, will you watch porn?
Who?
No, he asked a specific question.
No, I'm asking a question. Would you be happy for? I'm not trying to say your family. I'm saying other families. Would you be happy for them to watch it?
Yes.
You're happy?
What about your family?
Why not? What is wrong with watching porn?
Brother, it causes mental disorders.
How does it cause mental disorder?
Let me tell you why it causes mental disorder. Yes, because if you keep listen to me, if you keep watching it, you're gonna go crazy, brother.
No.
Yeah.
I'm not one that's crazy. Tell him. I'm not crazy.
I'm joking.
I watch it every day.
Brother, what's wrong with you? Why are you exposing your sins on camera?
I'm not. I've got nothing to be ashamed of.
There's 3 cameras here.
Why should I be ashamed of watching porn?
Because it's a sin.
How?
Because you're violating God.
Well, I don't believe in God.
Then you're violating God even more.
How?
Because you don't believe in Him.
God.
So you're double violation. You're double trouble.
Maybe I am the Satan himself.
Possibly. But listen.
Right.
What I'm trying to say.
You haven't answered it. When was the last time you watched
brother.
porn?
Listen to me. Listen to what I'm saying. I can see in your eyes that because your eyes, they don't blink. That means you got a hard heart.
I've got a hard heart.
Yeah, because your eyes, a person with sort of, you got a hard heart.
You like to watch lesbians having sex?
Listen, brother, listen to what I'm saying.
I'm
You know families.
Yeah, I know about families.
They get destroyed because of porn.
No.
Yes, that's true.
No. If you get divorced, it's all because there's other issues going on.
It's because
How can
you
blame
cheated.
divorce
This
on
is cheating. This is cheating with your mind. It's cheating with your soul. It's cheating with your eyes.
But
it's
you
cheating
watch it yourself.
Who, me?
Yes.
Who said I watch it?
Because you don't deny it.
No, I'm saying I don't watch that shit.
When was the last time you watched it?
No, what I'm trying. Listen, what I'm saying. No, let me explain. No, that's no. Listen. First of all, I don't want to go near that shit.
95% of the men here watch porn and they tell you they don't. They're liars.
What? Is that true, bro?
Of course it's true. What is the most downloaded videos from the internet? Pornography.
So I'm telling you, it's the devil's spell. Are you going to agree with me on that?
All right, so if you also say you never look at it, can we check your internet history?
Yeah, go and check it.
On your home computer, will you download your internet history and show us all your internet history? Are you that confident?
Listen, Raj.
Are you that confident?
First of all, Raj.
Because we can get someone to check it.
Check it.
He can watch porn in an anonymous window.
You look and check it. All I'm trying to say is if you don't want to get hit by God's curse, don't watch that shit and stay away from it. Because that is a curse and God is watching. The angels are watching. Listen.
Has he cursed
Listen
you?
to what I'm saying. Listen to what I'm saying. I don't go near that shit. I'm a person.
When did you stop watching it?
No, let me explain. When I was in school, yeah.
You watched it?
Now listen to what happened. The people that was next to, I was a little kid, I was 15 years old.
Okay.
There was people next to me putting it on the computer.
And you had a good look.
And it came in my face, innit? And when I go to the phone box in London, listen, no, stop, man. When I go to the phone box, it's in your face. This, I'm saying, is a devil's spell. This is going to cause you into hell.
That's women offering themselves up for a bit of fun.
I don't know, but it's not good, bro. If you, the Quran says, lower your gaze. قُلْ لِلْمُؤْمِنِينَ يَغُضُّوا مِنْ أَبْصَارِهِم وَيَحْفَظُوا فُرُوجَهُم. Tell the believers to lower their gaze and protect their things.
What things?
The things, the thing in it.
What is it?
The things.
The family jewels. Name it to me. What is it?
You know, last week you was trying to check out those 2 girls, and they started attacking you afterwards. What was that about?
No, they never attacked me. I got kissed anyway.
Men are men.
Listen.
We have hormones rushing around.
Brother, there is a law. It's like saying I want to drive in the street without a license and I crash everyone. You're not allowed.
No, of course you're allowed.
There is a law. There's a Quran.
Free.
The Bible and the Quran says you can't watch porn.
Porn is free.
Does it speak
Just get on the internet and have a
the
good
Bible
look.
says it as well. Jesus does not accept that.
Jesus said,
I don't do religion.
Jesus said, don't watch porn, especially on Christmas. You lot should be ashamed of yourself. Watching it on Christmas as well. Especially
was he referring to drawings? Was he referring to drawings like black and white drawings with chalk and stuff?
Brother, Raj, listen. This is a don can see, yeah? Watches porn, what will happen to him? He'll go crazy. So imagine the human. Imagine the human.
I think you're more crazy than me.
No, look at your eyes, brother. Look at his eyes. Look at his eyes. Come bring the camera to his eyes.
I watch porn.
His eyes doesn't blink. His eyes doesn't blink like the Exorcist.
He just blinked.
Come.
I saw him blink. I saw him blink.
Bring it to you. Got. I can.
Porn every single day.
Astaghfirullah. What is this?
What's the argument here? So you're saying it's okay to watch porn?
Yes, of course it's okay to watch porn. Do you think it's okay to watch porn?
Oh my, exactly. It's not even about, forget religion. Forget religion. I'm just talking from a moral point of view. Don't you think it's addictive? It's like anything.
It's addictive, but so
Exactly.
smoking, so drinking, so
and I think they're bad too. Yeah, exactly.
But there's nothing wrong with being a little bit sinful.
A little bit sinful, but that's
We're not
contradiction in
perfect.
terms, isn't
Is
it?
there
Because if you-
anyone here?
Yeah, tell him. Tell him.
Can you not understand the psychology that pornography actually helps keep a relationship together?
Sorry?
Look, men love sex.
No, wait.
Sorry,
Ask him. No, wait, because he was serious.
Go on. Men love sex, yes?
True.
Right. And if men are really honest with themselves, you know, watching a bit of porn just helps release a bit of pressure, yeah?
No, but everything should be regulated. I mean, we live in a country where there's
Why
laws.
should we be regulated?
But what, if
sex should be free?
Hold on a second. So does that mean if I see any girl that I really like, I can just
No.
approach her without her consent?
Respect. No respect.
Yeah.
That's why you watch porn instead.
No. Yeah, I know, but fine. I'm with you. But what's porn going to do? All it's going to do is going to fuel my addiction.
No. Once you've come, you're relieved.
No, but then some time passes and I want to do it again. It's an addiction. That's the thing.
There's nothing wrong with doing. Have you ever wanked once a day? How many men here have a wank once a day?
Stop! What am I saying? Once a day, you know? Every day, the spray blood. Bruv, it's haram. Children, don't do it. Don't do it, please.
And still wank
Everyone, stop watching porn and stop wanking.
With that?
What's wrong with having a wank?
Okay, listen.
I think what it is it's like you're misunderstanding the energies that you're feeling inside.
No, I'm feeling plenty of energy.
Yeah, and those energies, that sexual energy should be used to create something, put it in creativity or to fuel your passion or
Oh, it does.
You know what I mean? I'm not saying
make
sexual
children.
energy is not natural, but what
Make
you
a
do
family.
with it's something sacred, and even though I know that this masturbation is commonplace and porn is commonplace,
You
I
must
don't
do it
think it is
yourself.
the good thing. Say it again?
When was the last time you had a wank?
No, I'm not going to talk about when I went. but
How
what-
is it? Nobody here will admit to having a wank.
people are ashamed.
Why?
Because
it's a
they're
shameful
ashamed.
thing.
Why? What's shameful about that?
I don't know. I don't
Okay.
think it's something that I would want to teach my child. Oh yeah,
But it
like,
comes naturally as you're growing up.
I'm not sure it does.
Of course it does.
I'm not sure it does.
So why don't you
I'm
get
not sure it
married
does.
instead? And bang your wife? Why you have to bang the porn? Why do you have to bang your hand? Your hand is like you're banging your mum because it's the same DNA. It's the DNA of your mum and you're banging it.
Why not enjoy everything?
What? Mama, your wife needs your energy, not the porn, not the computer. Every day you're banging your hand. You should be giving your energy to your
I've
wife.
got more energy.
Even your wife, she's telling you you're not giving me enough energy. I
I've
know
got a lot
this.
of energy.
Your wife is complaining. She told
I
me.
had to run 10.
She told me she's
I had
complaining.
to run 10 kilometers
I'm
yesterday to
joking.
calm myself down.
Brother, so you're telling me your wife, you can't give her the
I
energy?
feel differently. I've got plenty of energy to
So
share.
does
it
your wife
around.
satisfy you?
I satisfy everybody.
Does your wife satisfy you? Are you satisfied with your partner? Sorry to say your wife or whatever. Are you satisfied with your partner sexually? So then, do you not feel like after sex then you've satisfied that urge for
So
sex?
you need a bit more from somewhere else.
So you're a sex addict then?
Yeah.
Why don't you get a second wife? Why don't you get a second wife?
Is that
And
allowed?
give her the energy. Yes, it's allowed.
According to you, everything's allowed.
No, I'm not saying you. There's nothing wrong with having a bit of fun with one or two, or three, or four,
Well, see,
or
there you
five,
go.
or six.
Where do you start? Come on, look.
No, hang
Let's
on.
have
It's
children.
about mutual consent, yeah?
Okay, it's fine. Mutual consent, but do you see the harm that you're harming
No,
yourself with the
How are you
addiction?
harming?
I'll tell you what.
It's about mutual
we all
consent.
know. We all
If-
know. Look, the mind is not very clear. When someone's watching this stuff and they're pleasuring themselves in that way, your mind is not clear.
Yes, it
You
is.
know that.
It's very
So,
clear.
you know, come on.
Of course
your
it's
mind is
clear.
taking over. You're not even aware of what harm you're doing to
Your
yourself.
mind is very clear when you're watching pornography.
Okay.
Do you feel the
same about the pornography after you complete the act.
Yeah.
You
do it again, that's why I do it again the next day.
You're not being genuine now.
No, I am being genuine.
After you busting up, yeah, you don't want to carry on, do you? You now feel
Maybe
like
a couple of hours later, yeah.
wow, yeah, you really a sex addict.
You think I need a psychiatrist to sort me out?
I don't know about psychiatrists, but I think that you could redirect that energy into
Make
things
your
that could
children
be a little bit more constructive for you. You could
I
actually
have
harness
a good
that energy.
life,
And
a
I'm not saying you
constructive
don't.
life.
You can have a better life.
But you can all have a good life, but we all need sex as well.
Okay, yeah, sex. We agree with sex. But what you're arguing for
But
porn.
there are different forms of sex.
You're arguing for porn
So
and
that-
masturbation.
No, you can have a dildo. You can play with that. You can play with a rubber doll. You can dress up.
Hey, children, listen, I just wanted to say, we're going to cut now, but what I was saying, this brother, he's a bit confused. We're going to take him to confused.com, and he's going to go today, we're going to give him psychology lesson in Albert Square. They're going to talk to him.
Listen. Psychiatrist, yeah?
Yeah, I don't know, listen. Basically, these people, they're trying to promote porn and that. This is the industry.
Porn.
This is what Satanists, are doing to destroy families around the world. They're trying to destroy families. Porn is the biggest #1 destroyer of couples. This is a statistic from the Scientific University of Hertfordshire. Now, what are you going to tell me now? What are you going to tell me now?
How on earth
exactly.
does it destroy marriages?
And they did a research, and they said the coma. Exactly. See?
60% of divorces happen because of one of the reasons is that one of the people is watching porn. That's actually proven.
Exactly.
I researched it, man. Yeah, I'm not proud about it. I actually researched about that shit.
But surely you should. In fact, what is wrong with watching porn with other?
Go on your Google right now and write the 10 disadvantages of watching porn, the 100 disadvantages. They'll tell you 100. So don't listen to this man. Satan, I can see him in his eyes. Because you know Satan, the eyes is like that, like Silence of the Lamb. Like that. I know him.
I don't agree about all this sin, all this stuff, but one thing is true, is
too,
that one of the main reasons for erectile dysfunction.
Don't even front.
And it's
Women
true,
only.
it's scientifically
Women though,
proven.
yeah.
Porn causes
I love
erectile
women,
dysfunction in men.
Exactly.
Very often. Very often.
All of you children, have a Merry Christmas and don't listen to this man. Listen to Modine. Don't watch porn. Be good to your parents and don't shout at your mum and dad.
Treat your energy sacred. Treat your energy as sacred. View it as sacred. Don't abuse yourself. Yeah, and
abusing myself.
because you're overdoing, you're overspending. You're searching for something that's not inside of the vagina. It's not in the porn. What it is you need something else. You need something else to occupy that energy. Say that again.
What about a tongue?
What do you mean? What do you mean? I don't get it. What do you mean?
Well, it's not just about vagina, is
No,
it?
no. Okay, cool. But whatever sexual act it is, obviously you got a fixation on sex.
Have I?
Well, yeah, because you're
No.
having sex with your missus and you're wanking every day, minimum.
But what's wrong
Once
with
a day,
that?
minimum. But I'm saying I'm not saying that it's wrong or right. What I'm saying, to me, it seems like you could be searching for something that you're not going to find. You're not going to find that satisfaction. Look,
My life
why
is
do you
good.
need to
Imam
wank
Jafar
up?
Sadiq said, the one that bangs his hand is like the one that banged his mum. Imam, this is a hadith. This is a hadith. The first people that we thrown in hell are the wankers.
How do you compare wanking?
Wanking is like drinking alcohol. Wanking is like, it says there's a hadith, I read it, that the wanker will be brought on the day of judgment with the person that drinks alcohol and they're thrown in hell. Stop wanking, boy.
Murderer,
Naughty
the
boy.
thief,
When was
the
the last
rapist,
time you did
and
it?
the wanker.
Huh?
When was the last time?
Me, I don't do that shit.
No?
I'm a real G, I chirps go. What? Man's chirps, innit? Chirps. What?
So,
I've never done it.
of course he has.
With me, stop.
Are you sure?
Listen,
he has.
Relax, fam.
Motherfucker.
Listen, all I'm trying to say, kids, have a Merry Christmas and be good to your parents and
Why
don't
are you
watch
picking
porn.
on him,
And
man?
all the parents, block the porn on your computer. Everyone block it. Block that shit from their phones, from their fucking computers. Don't let your fucking family get fucking watch that shit.
Why are you
Just tell your kids that they'll get
Yeah,
erectile
the F word is,
dysfunction.
I'd
That
rather
will
use
work.
the F word and make them stink than let their children watch porn and fuck up
It's not a
this.
good way. It's not a good way to get your point across, swearing.
Okay, because I'm upset because I'm upset because you're trying to influence the children to do this
How
shit.
am I trying to influence children?
Yeah, because you're saying it's okay, like it's normal, and it's haram, it's a sin. Jesus will punish you.
When have I started to try to...
Santa Claus will not bring you presents. You will not get reindeer. You will not get Father Tree if you watch porn. You have to watch Home Alone.
Why are you picking on him?
Snowman.
If you want to,
You have to watch Aladdin or something. Don't watch that shit.
I bet you no one can, man.
Listen to Modine. Don't listen to Silence of the Lambs. Yeah.
I can tell.
God no. Hey. Let me film you a bit.
No.
Robinson Thompson, yeah, big up Robinson Thompson. Big me up, Robinson, yeah? Alright, listen, I've got to go pray now. I pray for you, like, have a Merry Christmas. Pray for me, I know you, I love you all. It's your boy Mo Dean. You know I love you, you love me. Alright, bro, no hard feelings, yeah? But don't listen to this man.
Why should I be
Don't
upset?
listen to this man, no hard feelings, yeah?
Do you say that same thing to all the other Muslim brothers who make Islam look bad? If you think gang are making black people look bad.
I don't think
Muslims that come to this
gang
park
is making black
and they
people look bad, definitely.
But there's a lot of Muslims that come to this
And
park.
we can investigate it.
There's a lot of and they make Islam look bad. For them, they make.
Yeah, man's out. I'm coming back though. Hey, you lot, make sure you pray for me, you know. I'm Mo Dean out here, man needs your prayers and that. I swear down here, if you lot don't pray for me, you know, I love you all. You're all like my children, you're like my brothers and sisters. All of you, I love you. Even my haters, if you got to know me, you would love me. Because you would know Mo Dean is one of the realest G's on this planet. So all of you youngers, listen to me and be good people, go get married, save your money, get me. Don't be depressed, because Mo Dean is here. I told you, if anyone's got depression, just call me. I've told you this before. My number's here. I'm going to give it before I go pray. I'll give it to you. I'm holding my number today, so you can contact me right now. It's a Laquarn number, so if you ain't got credit, just be prepared, innit? Yeah, it's 07. I haven't memorized it. Let me just get it. Everyone take note. 07438 515 444. Yeah, I'll say that one more time. 07438 515 444. I've got my number. Anyone got depression, call me. I'll save your life. I've saved a lot of people's life already. Yeah, it's your boy Mo Dean. I've got the phones here, yeah? So holla at me. I'm going to come to pray and come back, yeah? Safe.
The 6-Day War, Russia, Egypt and Syria buy all their weapons from Russia. Now Russia's realised, let's switch sides and be friends with Israel. Yeah. Yeah. Even Saudi Arabia's worked out that Israel's a smart country. Now Saudi Arabia's buying weapons from Israel. They got anti-missile defence systems in Saudi Arabia, made in Israel. So when the Houthi rebels, who are supported by Iran, fire missiles at Saudi Arabia, Saudi Arabia can knock them out of the sky. Thanks to Israeli technology.
Saudi Arabia is dangerous, and Israel.
They are.
Yeah.
So Iran. You're all murderers. So's Yemen. So's Syria. So's Iraq.
So's Britain. So's America. So's Israel.
No.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are.
We spread democracy.
Yes,
as we have done. We spread democracy. We spread democracy.
Do you know about Abu Ghraib?
Why has Iraq got democracy? Thanks to Britain and America.
Do you know about
That's
Abu
good.
Ghraib?
Why
Do you know
Saddam
about
Hussein
Abu
gone?
Ghraib?
Thanks to Britain and
Abu
America.
Ghraib spread democracy.
Hard luck. Saddam Hussein's
Do you know about Abu
gone.
Ghraib?
Iraq's got democracy now. Get used to it. Thanks for that contribution. So, Israel's not going to go away.
Hello, mate.
The Palestinians have two options. Fight against Israel or make peace with Israel. They're the only two options. Fight or make peace. They made a crap of their countries by fighting Israel, but if they make peace, things will be so much better for them. Do you know, in Gaza, where they don't cooperate with Israel, it's a mess. In the West Bank, even though they haven't made peace with Israel, Israel is helping the Arabs in the West Bank. They've got some lovely new cities there now, thanks to Israel. Just imagine if the West Bank made peace with Israel and recognised Israel, how much more Israel would help them.
Okay, do you know about Abu Ghraib in Iraq?
Cities in like Israeli provinces. There was no problem until not like 1967, before they invaded the West Bank and Sinai. I've got no idea what you're talking about.
Abu Ghraib is an Iraqi prison.
Who controlled it?
An
Who
Iraqi
controlled it?
prison.
Who controlled it?
Iraq does.
No. Who was facilitating what was going on in there? The American army.
During that
American
war,
soldiers came out
during
and
that
they went
war,
in there.
get it right.
How can you talk to that? They need help.
Anyways, why are upset if we said the gang are not genuine? Why are upset? Am I entitled to think and say yes or no?
But you can't come and change the conversation.
Why are upset and say no?
You know him. You know him.
I don't care about your face.
It's a good looking face. Don't give him a very good looking face. That's what I'm saying to you.
What's wrong with you, man? You're being fucking violent. Listen, Jedi. You are a violent person. You can sit down and
What are you reaching over to him for? I'm pushing me out the way. You can film me.
I'm pointing at my brother. Can I do this to my brother or not? You need to behave yourself and stop your bullying and your gangster style. Yeah? I'm not going to be afraid from you.
Yeah, stop doing what you're doing, man. Keep your hands to yourself.
Right? I'm going to point at my brother.
Yeah, you
Hug him, touch him, do what I want.
Keep your hands to
I'm
yourself.
a free man.
You can, but keep your hands to
Yeah?
yourself.
So do not control me.
I'm not going to.
I'm not you think you can bully people and do what you want? Fucking gangster. We were talking.
He doesn't appreciate people. Careful with the camera. Now we don't want to
Sorry. You see, if you speak about the black supremacy, who are misusing the black cause, they come and bully you and they want to fight with you.
Huh?
Yeah?
But your problem is that
a group of drugs addicts are not going to represent the black cause. The black cause need serious and genuine and honest people to represent it if you want to represent the black cause. This is my argument.
Respect.
Yeah?
And you're going to choose them for us here.
Who are you to say? This is my opinion, my friend. This is my humble opinion. Okay? Okay?
Yes, go ahead, Reva, because she said you're gagging, I'm not gagging.
Yeah, it's like this, right? The question was asked. So let's try to get some discipline, right? The brother asked the question, so let's continue from there because it was a lot of confusion. So go back from where you were.
Ages ago.
Yeah, you asked a question to one of the brothers who pushed the back then.
Oh, no, I was just trying to put out to the brother over here what happens when Muslims who come here try and pretend like they represent Islam and they try and question black brothers and do issues, and then actually really it's an undertone.
I'm not aware of this. Can you give examples? I want you to prove this claim now. No, you need to prove the claim. You need to prove it. He needs to prove it. I'm talking with him.
Shush, man.
Can you prove this?
You're a motor mouth.
Can you please be quiet and be a good man? Can I ask you to prove this?
And he sees
He sees a bullying and the gangster style.
And the Jedi came over
straight
and
away.
he decided that everyone there was gang.
I'm not wasting my time with him, man.
There's no need for you to actually get to understand or know what was going on here. He just saw 4 black people and he assumed everyone there was gang and they're all quote unquote misrepresented the black community. He then goes to show further his arrogance because when I asked him a question about the issues within the Islamic community as a black Muslim here and all the Muslims
Can I know who you are talking to?
and all the issues that you
No, he needs to say it himself.
that have happened here with Muslims here. How many times has he gone on camera? And how many times has he gone and spoken to the Muslim about the issues in their community and how they're misrepresented?
Are you addressing me now?
Is he directly?
May I ask you?
I'm talking directly to Raven.
You're not addressing me.
I'm talking to Raven, sure.
You are talking about me?
I'm talking to Raven.
Okay, because I have the right to defend and reply.
He's there to make the statement.
Okay, go ahead.
So he there further shows because he didn't even want to answer that question about Islam. He skipped over that question and then jumped over to talking to you and then talking to you and he's like, I don't want to talk to you. Feeling like he can dictate the terms of the conversation because only he has the right to question gang, and if you don't talk quote unquote for gang, he doesn't have any interest in your opinion. And because of that, I would say personally, from my perspective, his Muslim brothers need to go and correct his behaviour, and we can have a constructive conversation without him. Because I really don't feel like he actually understands what other people are saying when they speak. He just wants to talk and interact people. And despite everything I've said now, I promise you,
you are on his side against me, and you're saying exactly. Who are you to decide?
Because he's not been listening this entire time. He's only been listening to what he wanted to say.
And his next response. How do you know I'm not listening? How do you know I'm not listening? First of all, I didn't hear the question. What is the question?
This is his last
Childish.
try.
I'm surprised.
Last try.
He doesn't finish.
childish.
What is the question?
So you weren't listening then? You weren't listening.
May you please kindly say the question?
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm telling you. I mean, why
What I'm saying is, let people speak.
What is the question I have skipped?
The question
You
I
are
asked
saying I have skipped
directly
the question.
was when you came up here, you came and questioned something about whether these are the right people to represent the black race or whatever it is, or the black cause.
The black cause.
However, in this park, I think Islam has the most disservice done to it
So
by a
is this your
bunch of
answer?
fake dawah guys and fake Muslims who run around acting like they represent the
So
deen.
what this has
get
to do
into
with my
fights,
question?
Get into fights.
Am I talking about the black cause? Why you are going to
How
Islam?
many times have you gone
I wanna
to
know-
Muslim brothers and questioned them about how they are misrepresenting the Islamic cause? That's the question I asked you. How many times have you done that on camera and
you
asked them
finished?
about the Islamic cause? It's a simple question.
Okay, have you finished, sir?
So man doesn't
Are you done with your
listen.
question?
Man doesn't listen to receive information.
listening.
Man
Don't
listens
jump in.
just to respond.
Have you
Yeah.
finished the question?
This
Can
is
I
what I'm
answer
trying to say
now?
to these two.
May
We
I
should just
answer?
cancel this conversation
Are
and move
you-
on to something
are
else.
you
He's not going to listen.
interested?
He's not going to listen.
Are you interested to let me reply?
Bro,
Debate
if you
at
want
school,
to
yeah.
I
So
heard
rubbish.
you. I have heard you.
Let him say what he's got to say, then
I
we'll
want to
finish.
answer back.
Let him say what he's got to say, then we'll finish. Go ahead.
Okay, have you finished?
Yeah, go ahead.
Can I reply back?
If you was listening to me,
I
you'd know
was.
when I was finished.
I heard you.
So you know I was finished?
Yes.
They're
And I
diversion
asked,
tactics.
have you finished?
Diversion tactics.
But you knew I
What's
was
your
finished.
name? What's your name?
Oh,
You
bro.
Don't worry
It's
about
like a
it.
magic
Okay,
trick.
You can call me
man was
Captain.
no
A
name.
magic
Have you
trick.
finished? Have you finished?
Was you listening to
Illusionist,
me?
man.
I was, yes.
So did you know when I finished? Do you understand social cues in the conversation?
Yes, and I want to make sure that I'm
Generally,
entirely
when
finished.
somebody stops speaking, that means they finish. So the question you're asking has already been answered.
Okay, I'm listening. I'm listening. I want to reply once you finish.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
So now you finish.
A third time.
Okay,
He needs it a third time.
Yeah, because you say,
when somebody stops
you
talking,
spoke before I finish.
when somebody stops talking, usually, right, that means they've stopped talking, and that means that they finished.
I'm going to reply, please. Now, I have spoken about the black cause. What this has to do with anybody else?
Okay.
What brought any other element out of the question? I have spoke about the black cause,
because I found it
and I am
interesting.
thinking, and maybe I'm
I found it interesting
now it's my
that
time to speak, isn't it? Isn't it my time to speak now?
My bad.
What's wrong with you?
In social
Isn't it my time to speak now?
Usually somebody else replies.
Isn't it my time to
Social
speak?
cues 202. Don't worry,
Isn't it my
keep up
time
with the
to speak
lesson.
or not
And
my
soon enough,
time?
you'll understand.
Are you going to give me the chance to speak or not? Now, I have spoken about the black cause. You have spoken about something other than the black cause. Why? Can I know?
Okay.
I can't
Why?
answer that.
No, you cannot.
I will.
He is
Because-
gang.
because
You are not.
originally-
Are you gang?
One second.
Are you gang?
I'm not gang.
You don't even have. Okay.
Because conversation you have
Exactly. In Saudi Arabia. Exactly.
And as soon as you saw Jedi, you
Exactly.
ran out the back door.
I haven't seen
One
Jedi.
second, and
I
you
don't
started
care
talking
shit
about
about
gang.
Jedi.
Yes, you
One
did.
second, you
Yeah.
started
Yes,
the back
you did.
door.
You
and
started
started
talking
talking
about
about
Jedi.
gang.
Man over here.
Jedi
He's
is
He's
nothing.
He's a fan.
He's a fan.
Now,
Big.
answer
Another
me.
one.
Why
Look at
you
this
spoke
black man.
about
You know he's a
Islam
fan.
when the question
You
was
haven't
about
let
the
me
black
finish.
cause?
You haven't let me finish. So you saw
Why you
Jedi.
talking about Islam while my question was about the black cause? Can you answer this one?
Yeah, I can, but you have to,
Go
you
ahead.
have to have some patience.
Don't speak about Jedi
Sabr,
or any
sabr.
bullshit.
Have some sabr.
Yes, please.
Alhamdulillah.
Go ahead.
Okay, cool. So, right. So you saw Jedi, and at that point.
I'm not about Jedi.
But-
I said
okay,
about the
and at
black
that point-
cause.
Okay, and at that point,
I have
you
not
turned
mentioned
around
Jedi
and you said,
or anyone.
gang, who,
Now
can
you,
gang
you
represent the black
obviously
cause?
cannot answer.
Can
and
gang
you are
represent-
Let him
wasting
finish
our
speaking,
time.
At which
man.
point,
I'm
Let
not
him
going to let
finish
him
speaking, man.
finish
Come on,
because
man.
he
At which
he
point-
keeps speaking about you
on now.
while about the black cause. Honestly, dishonest people.
This is
who
Jahil
are
right now, you know.
abusing
This
the
is
black
Jahil
cause.
right
We are for the black cause more than you.
even let anyone else speak.
Full on Jahil. Yeah, good. It's okay to Jahil right now.
This guy is a sucker, fam. This guy is a genuine
I'm saying that's not the manners of Muslims.
I don't
That's the
know.
manners of Prophet.
I don't know.
When he comes here and he acts high and mighty, he feels like he can question other black people anytime he
Oh,
wants.
he's confused.
He never
Don't
wants
worry
to
about it.
address his own behavior
Fire
for
on
his
that.
own attitude, for his own community. I'm a Muslim. He never once addressed me as a Muslim or showed me respect, offered me his salam. And he wouldn't do that. Of course I am. Of course I am. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, bro. There's no point. He comes over here, and he comes with this stinking attitude. And I'm saying this is the attitude that needs to get stamped out in the Muslim community. Stamped out completely, because he has no right to question nobody when he behaves like that.
What are you saying? What are you saying? So why is he on his own in this theory? Why is no one else jumping on what he's saying? Why is there no who's co-signing what he's saying?
don't know.
Any Muslim? He's a Muslim, and he can't stand it. So you've missed everything.
No, I don't know what happened, bro. That's what man didn't get involved. You get it?
But this is the point I'm trying to make.
The Somali brother was trying to discuss issues about Somalis.
No,
in
can I because you wasn't here, yeah?
Cool.
What happened was, there was a Somali brother who was being checked on something that he said last week. Another Muslim from Pakistan came to check him on something that he said last week because he said something to do with the fact that of Somalis, yeah? People caught the end of a conversation where he said Somalis are superior to the person that he was talking to, who was an Arab, yeah? And so a Pakistani guy came to check, a Muslim came to check him on what he said because there's supposed to be no superiority in Islam. And what he said is, in Saudi Arabia, Islam is not being practiced properly, yeah? So in terms of how we practice Islam in Somalia, it is superior to actually practice in Saudi Arabia. That's what he said, all right? Okay, that conversation is happening. A conversation continues about mistreatment of people in Saudi Arabia. This guy comes in on the conversation and starts talking about represent the black cause, yeah? So we're trying to say now, how do we go from mistreatment? The brother is talking about rape and murder, yeah, of babies. Yeah, are you coming in to talk about gang? Like, we ain't never murdered nobody or raped nobody or nothing like that. It's a joke.
No, we've got a fixation.
Yeah? It's a joke. Yeah, and the reality is, yeah, man is lucky, yeah, that people even entertain the conversation. That's the reality.
More time, man, don't
That's the reality.
Him, man, just like
you get me?
But the discipline was good though. The man then showed discipline.
Right,
exactly. More time, man, don't entertain him because he's lost. He rambles and he goes around and then he'll divert.
I don't know the guy.
And then when you chat to him, like, he'll do what he does. I knew he was gonna do it.
Yeah.
Oh no, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to you. Oh no, I'm not talking to you. Like, so he runs.
Yeah. And when you lot came over, yeah, it weren't nothing to do with nothing, yeah. He went like that to Jeddah.
Yeah. And
right?
it's
Jeddah
the
said,
second
please
time.
don't do that to me, please. Everyone thinks it's going to be a beef thing. Yeah? So, and you saw how things happen, yeah? You do that to a guy, yeah?
You got to tell him man straight away, bro, like, move that arm.
That's what I'm saying, right?
And then, but you go around him, you go around him and come to me and be like, oh, allow it.
He's under some gang.
You understand? Yeah, that's what you done. You came to me telling me to allow it. The bullying thing. So you saw him getting bullied.
No, that's what I thought.
Why did you think that? Let's break down why you thought that.
You tell why I said that, bro. Because I thought man was trying to reach there and he touched you by accident. That's why I thought that.
Alright, cool. So I explained it, innit, yeah? It was the second time in like 60 seconds that he'd tried to cross my physical boundaries in my personal space, yeah? Obviously we're standing here. If I'm chatting to you, I'm like, cool. But I'd already told him, bro, allow it. And he went and done it again specifically on purpose, like, yeah, because he knows I'm gonna push him, then he's gonna cry wolf and say, oh, don't bully me. Yeah? If these men have got victim complex in them, yeah, where they have to see themselves as being a victim, even when they're clearly the aggressor. And that's all that's going to happen. You get me? That's all they want to do to try and further that narrative. He's stuck on a narrative where he can make a black man look in a certain light. That's all it is, isn't it? It's a PR war, isn't it? This is all it is. So in his eyes, yeah, he'd rather than talk about the truth within the Ummah, he'd rather deflect and talk about someone. Look, he couldn't even be honest. I walked over, he looked and started talking about me. Now man saying, yeah, you saw Jedi. I didn't see Jedi, I weren't talking about Jedi. And these men have got a screw loose. You know what these men are like, man.
The whole conversation just get diverted. Like I'm saying, every time I have a conversation about brothers, every time I have a conversation,
yeah, no hype, bro.
Every time I have a conversation in the Ummah,
get your arm pushed away,
at this park right now, because things have been moving mad at the park. If they're trying to have a conversation about something within the Ummah, about issues with Somalis and so on and so forth, and they're having a genuine discussion, and then somebody comes in and they try and dictate the terms of that discussion, tell who's allowed to talk, change the topic of conversation to talk about gang, and then when brothers trying to put forward genuine concern, feel like he can just talk over them and have this mad superiority.
Come on, brother. Big up, man. Coming back to the camera.
Keep editing it.
Don't worry, I don't know how to do it.
You go to hell for that. Hell, man.
What is it?
Trying relationship. Who's got camera?
Who told you?
I'm saying,
I'm everything from the Bible. Paul is the father of Christianity.
Believe in Jesus. He's the only one that can save you from your sins. You can't work your way to heaven. You can't work your way to heaven. All your good works are like filthy rags before the Lord God. Believe in Jesus Christ.
David,
I follow Jesus. Ali, I follow Jesus. No, I follow Jesus.
Let's all be friends. I love this brother. That's what I'm trying to say.
Why are you so
Through
scared?
Jesus' blood, he can be saved. He can be reconciled. And you, bro.
I'm good. I'm just fine.
And you, brother.
Let's be friendly about it.
There's no enemies here. There's no enemies here, bro. There's no enemies here. No, stay here. Stay here. Show me.
Ali, where you going? Here. Because they're screaming. I'm just here.
Don't worry, come. Don't worry.
I'll put it on this side so they can
Don't worry. Ali Dawa, please answer the question. And I'm willing to answer any questions you have about my Lord Jesus Christ. But I want an answer to where Muhammad is mentioned.
Yeah, I would have been là.
Just show me where he's mentioned, please.
Okay.
And then maybe I'll see the light. Okay. You never know.
So the question is where Muhammad is
Okay.
in the Bible.
Okay.
Let's see.
Okay.
Wait.
I'm not going to do that.
I would like the proof, by the way.
Your question was where is Muhammad mentioned?
Say,
what's the
question? Nobody's talking to you.
The question is,
I'm talking to
where
a grown adult.
mentioned
You are
in the
so afraid
Torah
of
and
me.
Injil?
I can see that.
Scares the hell out of me.
I would like to see proof.
Your voice, I would have been
Praise the
là.
Lord Jesus.
Nightmare.
Let's answer.
That's a Tanakh, all right?
Let's answer. Let's hear. Remember, if Muhammad is not in the Bible, Islam is false prophet. Quran is false book. Allah is Satan. Muhammad is evil. All those things. Do you want me to keep it quiet?
You want me to answer the question? I'm going to answer the question again. I will like your Quran says that Muhammad is mentioned. You listening, brother? Yeah?
Sorry.
Your Quran says that Muhammad is mentioned in the Torah and the Injil. I would like you to show me where he's mentioned.
Okay. So that's your only question.
That's my first question.
That's your first question.
My first question.
Okay, all right. So what I want to do with this, before I answer this question, just want to touch upon something as well, yeah? Before I start, I want to say Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. All praises, glory and gratitude belong to
Jesus Christ.
All praises, glory and gratitude belong to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. All praises, glory and gratitude belong to Him and Him alone. We worship Him and no one other. Yeah? And now what I wanted to say is this, yeah? I'm going to answer his question because I don't want him to say that you didn't answer. After that, if he's convinced or not convinced, I want to go to the root of the problem. I don't want to go to the branches.
I would like proof.
Hopefully, yeah, if you allow me. Yeah? So, as you can see a tree behind me, there's branches. I want to go to the root. Sorry. I want to go right to the root, yeah, because that's where it all stems from, yeah? Now, you've asked me this question. If I don't answer, you're going to say why you don't answer. So I'm going to answer. I'm going to answer.
Began.
All the believers in Christianity put together. That's the reason God turned His face away from this Messiah.
However, the different perspectives on the Commonwealth, because some people see the Commonwealth as just a system of the British Empire. Others see it as something that's great and will be a part of. So I think that's something that we got put in. So for me, so as of right now, where we stand on Brexit is, I think, a bit like what Jedi said. I personally had that same position where I felt it was unworkable and I felt it was going to be a farce. And it definitely has kept us distracted. Because if you think over 2 years, how much attention news lines and news companies have been paid to Brexit and how little has been paid to all other things. Think about what would happen in a normal year where this was happening. So we're definitely missing a lot. Even on
If there's an army, you don't
No. Now I'm saying he's a drinker.
If that's the case,
now I'm saying he's a drinker.
If you have power, you put this man.
My friend, I'm quite confident in my physical abilities to do harm. But I don't do that because in my mind, I'm a human being. I have emotions. I have feelings. I don't want to hurt other people. Because it's like I'm hurting myself in a way. I feel like even you're saying, I don't agree with you, but I wouldn't put a finger
got on you? Because as a human, I feel a certain way. I feel empathy.
Yeah, because you are not 100% Muslim. That's why.
No, my friend. No, this is outlandish. اسمح لي عمو, this is.
أنا مو عمك, أنا 36 سنة عمري.
أنا I'm 26.
أنا 10 سنوات أكبر.
It's a respect. It's an adab. I say عمو, it's an adab.
Girl next to me. Just tell me.
Okay, maybe. Okay, I forget what my parents taught me about respect. Okay, I'll put it to the side. Okay, Abdullah.
Yeah.
Okay, Abdullah.
His name is Abdullah. It's a Muslim name.
Yeah.
So why you hate Islam?
No,
I don't know. His name is Abdullah.
Yeah. I don't know if his name's Abdullah. You know Abdullah, and I said I'm Abd. I don't know everything. That means I'm a servant. I don't know everything.
Arab.
Yeah.
Before Muhammad, they were calling.
Then he gave his daughter to him. Having done that, grabbed him, put him on the ceiling and then on the floor.
Yeah.
Umar was a big man, by the way. You know that.
Yeah. Okay.
Ali radiallahu anhu.
So
from your sources,
Wait.
From your sources.
Never killed a person. Give me one person he killed in any Badr.
You know who killed in Badr? You know who killed Badr? Who?
He's not my
Wait. Don't. I don't want this.
So far, he got to Palestine.
This is all
they said, oh look, he didn't have to go that far.
For basically Britain having neglected and kind
If they've all been lost, how can you even verify that it exists? Firstly, how can you verify that? If you don't even have one of it left, how can you even verify that?
God is supernatural. Even if he comes as a man, he's still supernatural. He is supernatural. You know, Jesus prayed. Oh yes, he did.
How is God supposed to pray?
Who did he pray?
Two questions. Why is he praying? Who's he praying
inside
to?
him.
So he's praying inside himself.
The God in him. In the book of Acts it says, God
Too many contradictions.
That's all you need. That's all you need.
This is Phoenix, Sabaton. The people coming. To your man and listen to the rest. Right, now listen. Right? The Spirit of Truth, who you cannot receive because it neither sees him nor knows him. Okay. You know.
Comedy. We are.
It was the madam over there.
Even look. Oh, we just spoke to PC Barnes. You missed it. PC Barnes. What's he saying? He said I'm the most. Windshield now for your he said I'm the most improved person at Speaker's Corner. Yeah. Me. Raj 5.0 has won the award. 5.0 or most improved individual. Ain't heard you chat no shit about no one today. I know. It's hard, man. I have a little bit, but under my tongue. So do you know what Big Arj is about?
Oh, he's coming later on.
He's coming. He's definitely coming. I'm gonna have to text him. Oh, I don't like him though.
Maybe later on at night.
Yeah. Well, what?
No, he doesn't want to be recorded.
Don't want to be recorded now.
Nobody knows.
So to you, according to your ulama, Ali is a coward. A'udhu billah, thumma a'udhu billah. According to
It's the new religion of fear.
So that's where the lag is. Because I remember hearing that.
I guess I'm gonna go there now.
He will not speak of himself as he hears he should speak, and he shall glorify. 1 second. What did you do? John?
I spoke about the spirit of truth.
1 second. Did I talk?
One second. No, Sometimes it's hard to,
usually films are very small. If you see someone film on the
Yeah, he's Bengal. Yeah, I know. Yeah, he's
Bengal.
Yeah. Oh, thank you, ma. I really appreciate
You know what the video is? Because if I see him, I'll just get a video.
Yeah, this If you can blur it, that's great. It's the whole video. It's not like the first okay, what do you think?
Never speak to every Sunday, that's what I just like recording. Just makes us to be the psychology and behavior. That's personal.
John 16, and it doesn't mention Muhammad. I asked him, my question to Ali Dawa was to show me where Muhammad is mentioned. He doesn't mention Muhammad. Okay, no, I'm debating with my friend here. Okay? Now, it doesn't mention Muhammad. Does it, Ali? Does it mention Muhammad? The answer is no. This is why Islam is false. Because they're trying to force Muhammad into the Bible and he's just not there. No refutation? Who can give me a quotation from my Injil, my Bible, that mentions Muhammad by name? Sorry.
Are you serious? Okay, I'm going to do it. I'm going to repeat it.
I'm asking for a lot.
What's happened is this here. What's happened is this.
No one's got it.
First you said...
This is why Islam is false.
1 second. You said to me, show me where in the Bible it talks about Muhammad. Now he's narrowed it. Show me, because he can't answer it, show me where his name is mentioned. I never ever made the claim that he was mentioned by name, even though it does say the word. Yes, but even that, for argument's sake, I'm asking you a simple question. I'm asking
come in and make that point?
No, don't
dare you to come in and argue that.
Before you dare anyone, you need to deal with it. You need to deal with this argument before you dare anyone.
I suggest you don't do it.
1 second. I'm asking a simple question. Where it says here that he shall glorify me, who is it? Who is this person that Jesus is talking about? Answer me.
The Holy Spirit.
One second. The Holy Spirit?
Yeah.
Okay, where's the evidence for that?
No, read it from
Where's the evidence for that?
Read it from verse 7.
Where's the evidence for that?
Okay.
Verse 7 all the way up to 14. Read it. Who sends this guy?
And tell me,
Hold on.
when did the Holy Spirit come and talk to you, mans?
No problem, bro.
Tell me that, fam. Tell me when. Tell me when the Holy Spirit came and started talking to you, man.
is out the window.
Tell me.
I mean, the Holy Spirit is not part of the Trinity.
Dug yourself a big
But in this verse,
He says Holy Spirit spoke. Please tell me because you guys. No. The Catholics say he came to us. These men say no, Banda, that was the wrong spirit. He came to us. So which one did it come to?
Ali, you're not making any sense, brother.
Let the people decide that.
babbling,
Let
man.
the people decide that. Let the people
Brother,
decide.
I have some conviction on what you're saying.
Don't worry, I've got full conviction. Don't worry. You just answer my question. Yeah? And glorify.
Okay, let me read
And
what he
show you
mentioned. What my friend here mentioned. Okay. John 16.
Spirit showed them.
I'm going to read from verse 7. Okay. Nevertheless, make sure I've got the right reference. Okay, yeah. Nevertheless, I tell you the truth. It is to your advantage that I go away. This is Jesus speaking.
He has to go. And the Holy Spirit was always with him.
For if I do not go away, the Helper will not come to you.
You hear that?
But if I depart, I will send him to you.
Whoa, wait. I will send him to you. Go. Did Jesus send Muhammad?
Carry on.
Did Jesus send Muhammad?
This is his question. That's my point.
No.
Finish it.
That's my point.
What's your point? We're going to address all this.
Stop reading it.
That's my point.
Fall into a trap.
Okay.
Doesn't Jesus say?
But if I depart, I will send him to you. And when he has come, he will convict the world of sin and of righteousness and of judgment. Of sin because they do not believe in me. Of righteousness because I go to my Father and you see me no more. Of judgment because the ruler of this world is judged. I still have many things to say to you, but you cannot bear them now. However, when he, the Spirit of truth, has come, he will guide you into all truth. For he will not speak on his own authority, but whatever he hears, he will speak. And he will tell you things to come. He will glorify me. He will take of what is mine.
Hello. I believe we do that.
Come on.
Why are you here, like in this place, listening to all these nutters? Because it's a tourist thing to do, right?
Funny.
Is
There's
it?
a lot
It's
of
funny,
crazy
right?
people here.
Hello. Follow me on YouTube. I'm biohacking Joe Baines and Joe Baines Comedy. Joe Baines Comedy. Follow me on there. I'm also on Instagram, Joe Baines Comedy, Facebook.
What biohacks have you done?
Biohack. I do all of them.
What have
Are
you
you
done?
a biohacker?
No.
Do you know what it means?
Yeah, when you put something inside your body.
Yeah, so basically biohacking is the art and science of peak performance and health. And so basically it's a very new word. It's only come about 10 years ago.
Did you attach that ladder to your feet to make it taller? Is that a
Yeah,
biohack?
yeah. So this morning I had a cold shower, and fuck, the water is cold. That's all I'm saying. So cold showers is amazing for you. It kicks your body into a fight-or-flight response, and what that does is speeds up the healing process. So if you got a problem, obviously don't do it if you're really ill. So biohacking is great. I also fast. Anybody know about fasting? So I do intermittent fasting. Actually, I'm on a 10-day fast at the moment. I'm on day 4. And I'm also keto. Anybody else ketosis? You are ketosis. Oh, you've heard of it, yeah. So ketosis is where you change your diet completely and you live off fat and protein. So I don't actually eat carbs and sugars out, and all I eat is a lot of fat. And so my diet basically consists of I'd say 70% fat and 30% protein. So I keep my proteins below 50 grams. So yeah, I know this is not funny, but what it does, it allows you, if you eat a lot of fat, your body goes into fat adaptation, and once it adapts to fat, you get fat. No, when I started eating fat, I lost all my weight. I used to be chubby. I used to be very chubby. What makes you fat, by the way, is sugar and carbs. So if you eat a lot of sugar and carbs and your body can't burn it, it will store it as fat. That is why when you fast, you start getting headaches and all kinds of stuff, because your body starts detoxing. It starts shedding that fat, which is actually sugar. And sugar causes a lot of inflammation. So if your diet is really high in sugar, like 70-80%, which is what the normal Western diet is, you will get diabetes, cancer, high blood pressure, Alzheimer's, all kinds of problems. Sorry, mate? No, that's a myth.
So, and you done no body implants?
No, not yet. Oh yeah. Okay, so veganism, by the way, doesn't work. Veganism is not, what's the word? Diet. Veganism is not a diet. Veganism is a political ideology. So I've come across a lot of vegans who've been vegan for 10 years, 20 years, and they're reversing. So veganism is not a diet. Sorry, mate?
It's a dying ideology.
Sorry, veganism doesn't work because we're not designed.
And when the thing came off? Honestly.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and that's another thing. So my point is that I think because it's kind of like a base level thing that, you know, like if I'm a black nationalist over here, you're a black Muslim over here, and you're a black Muslim over here, there are levels to everybody. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Kind of, yeah, there's a certain level, right? So wherever we disagree, we disagree. You know what I'm saying? And we do that in our own, like, so you have black nationalist groups of people over here, you have black Muslims and whatever. But there's just like a level to which there's confluence or congruence among all those things if we want to for our own community. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's where it lies. The difference is though, so like for a black nationalist kind of thrust might be totally like independent. We want to do our own thing, whatever like that. Whereas if you're more like an anti-discrimination activist, you just want basically more acceptance. You just want to be, you know what I'm saying? You want more. You don't want there to be any hindrances with regards to black people's access to the job market, for example. Yeah, kind of thing. But the reality is that not having a hindrance to the job market is not something that a black nationalist disagree with. That's not our aim. Yeah, on our own team. So the idea is that, all right, well, let's work together on making sure there's no hindrance to the job market. You just what I'm saying. Like, and then you know, and then the person who's satisfied with that will stay there, and then whoever's not will go further and do whatever.
So I guess we're trying to a question about. How is Black Union achieved because the attack was there? I think one thing I was trying to do, especially last week, was to approach Black people who I didn't necessarily
understand some of their behavioural patterns from something like this, but they were psychopathic, and there was a problem. There was one brother who, I don't disagree with his political stance, but he was very skilled in developing. And I'm saying that there's certain skills I think might be quite valuable to learn, and programming and something is one of them, right? So for me, how you might be achieved is to focus on what you agree with and not what you disagree with. Would you agree with that statement?
Yeah, except for the fact that, as you see, there are certain that can't compromise on. So it's maybe part of the process is actually deciding what you're compromising and what is not compromising. You know what I'm saying? So maybe what you see as a compromise
yeah, and that's the thing. Sometimes people make up some like very wild stories and what might happen when there's no levels. Like for some reason, homosexuality seems to come up a lot. Like when I join a black veteran group, I'm going to be engaged in a sexual relationship. And I don't understand where this comes from. But I would think that the black veteran wouldn't get that.
I don't know about large, but growing, especially when the younger. Because what it is, I feel like there's an idea to which, this is gonna sound away, but the idea of quote unquote sexual freedom is being pushed like as a primary kind of thing, especially among the younger generation. You've got hit songs like "Kiss the Girl I Like It," yeah? So this has less to do with sexual identity. This sexual yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's it. And so what that is attached to an identity thing, yeah? That's what I'm saying. And how you find your identity, that's what I'm saying. So,
you know, when I was younger, okay, beginning of the decade, you know, people used to make fun of us. There was a guy, I think I was 6 or
Well, this is the thing though, right? So, well, the thing is, that could spin off to another conversation about how to interact with people with different sexualities. And I guess if that is infiltrating the black people intimidating, right?
The man was filming, so I need to ask him about that.
But at the same time,
it was recorded. It was 1 hour long, and then I don't know what.
Then the brother was just I'm saying, like, yeah, I'm like, what my concern is, you know, just I'm saying, that's my concern. We can use that as an elevate from a time, whatever.
Man told me right, I just
Definitely. I feel like, I think in 2011, it was like a shock. I lived in the house, right?
I don't know how to happen.
That was there. That's right.
I don't know how to happen for that. Some random video. I started researching.
And between that, but there was about 4 hours between that.
Trust me,
I thought something else that worked. You know,
I even went in.
So yeah, definitely. And as well, when you see
press that button to see that even if I did that by if I did then go back to the race, I've done that though. So my intention since I done
I'm gonna check them out, but all I know,
nowadays
someone told me
whether the
that
arm
she's in a
in certain areas of the country.
That would be good if you could do that to part 2. Part 2 is like we do.
Now she still be up there, man. I don't know what happened, man. She still be up there, though, man.
Hopefully it's getting good views, you know.
I know, fam. It's moving, man. I know, brother. I'm bugged. I don't know what happened, man. True story.
So yeah, definitely. I think
drop your desk back, man. Yes, I know. Wait till done. I said, but wait till done. I'll drop back here.
So let me set this up for
Why when it's mentioned, some people are very skeptical about it. So this is what I'm talking about. So what we're saying is, every time black people try to get together, and you using that as evidence.
They started off talking about how Brexit affects black people.
Oh, right, about Brexit.
Yeah, I don't know where they're at now though. I heard Bob the Builder. I'm gonna go listen.
And you're not engaging with what people are saying to you. Ahmed is trying to construct an argument based upon a misrepresentation. He has said, and it's on record, just go back to the beginning of the video, the one on TNT Greek, all Jews are Messiah. That's what you said. You said Jews, the people. And I said, speaking of them as one homogeneous block. And all the first Christians were Jews and Messiah. And they accepted it. Said in a first their mind says, I'm a good shepherd. Jews know Ezekiel, the shepherd, and then Jesus said, I am the good as a claim.
Okay.
Now please address the claim.
That there was no verse of Jesus. I agree with all the first verse of Jesus. They were people himself. He did not preach to. He insisted he came only to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. So the first followers of Jesus, they were Jews. We are not arguing this. But I'm talking about the Jewish community with its leadership and the high priest. When I asked you, have the high priest accepted Jesus to be them? He said no. So I am right that the Jewish community with its leadership, they rejected. And also this is what the Bible said, that he will reject him. Am I right or wrong? Yeah,
so,
but no, I'm not. That the Jesus are Jews. This does not mean that all Jews, all the Jewish group all the Jewish group, the Jewish community in Jerusalem back there followed him. No, this Jewish group back there, and there was a minority of Jews. Okay, now about him, the good shepherd, Jesus is the leader for his nation. He is the good shepherd. He is the leader to guide the people, the followers, to the ways that God will go through. But is Jesus God? Why I'm